Hello, everyone. Hi, how's everyone doing? New faces on a new stream. It's all very exciting. I am the DM of this session. I am Sandy, and I'll be running a homebrew one-shot called What Lurks in the Light. And we will go around and we're going to introduce ourselves. It's going to be a bit of a spooky session, hopefully, with some fun puzzles and lots of intrigue going in about. So why don't we start at the top of my list here? Why don't we start with Cher?
Hi there, I'm Cher. I'm known as @ThatGamerShare here on Twitch and on Instagram. On Twitter, I'm known as @GamerShare. Today, I am playing your strong and stocky barbarian Mogra. She is a half-orc barbarian.
Okay, then why don't we go with Renee?
Thanks. I'm Renee Joy. My pronouns are she, they. You can find me on Twitter at Renee Joy Writes. Today I'm playing Quilinthia Shanchant, who will also go by Quill. She uses she, they pronouns. She's our druid and a half-elf.
Perfect. And Liz.
Hello, my name is Liz. I also go by Zombie Octopus, both on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be playing TBC, or to be confirmed, the Warforged Divine Soul Sorcerer, whose pronouns are she, they, it. They're still working it out, but all of those are all good for them. Yes, that's me. Hello. Lovely to be here.
And last but not least, Natalie.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie. You can find me on most places on the internet with Ghost Candle. I use she, they pronouns. And today I'll be playing Terra Shale. She is an evocation wizard and a deep gnome. They go by she, her.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. And you can follow me over on Twitter at A Belmont Games and on Twitch here at Sandy Belmont. So today I just want to say thank you a lot for Hoard of Tales for hosting this fun new Women in Games. It's been a lot of fun trying to organize in the background, and I'm very excited to play with a whole new group of players. Some of us are going to be very new to this. I believe Renee, is your first time playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So that's very exciting.
Yes.
One of
Welcome
us.
to it.
Totally chill. I didn't spend all weekend cramming all the information, all the videos. I don't have a flow chart. Absolutely don't have a flow chart that I've been staring at. So I'm super chill. It's going to be totally smooth sailing.
Yeah,
We're here to help.
it'll go
It's
fun.
all about
Yeah.
having a good time more than anything.
Yes.
We also have a lot of homebrew rules. I run very quick and fast games and want everyone to have fun. So that's the main thing for me. So if there is a rule that doesn't seem right to you, don't worry about it. We're just here to have a good, funny, fun time. And there may be a lot of questions in here. So let's give people a chance to make sure they get it properly understood, and should we all be good. But onto that, I guess we will get started. And just make sure I got everything. Yes, let's build that into there. Cool. Right. Well, here we begin. So, our team of adventurers that we have gathered here today are looking for a lightkeeper team of 3 and a search team, and they've all gone missing from an island. Locals have often warned that there is a mysterious dark entity that inhabits this now abandoned island. Only the most experienced wikis are capable of dealing with the trials of this rocky crag. Your task today is to locate or find out what happened to the Lightkeepers. So our scene opens to a top-down wide shot of a small sailboat with 5 individuals setting off from the mainland. Although it's only 3 p.m., the night is already upon you. As a light rain begins to pour over the overcast sky, our adventurers have been tasked with going to North Point Lighthouse, where not only a team of experienced lighthouse keepers have gone missing, so have the rescue team sent out to find them. As the camera pans down and zooms into the face of the rower, sailor, we see Kara, a minotaur in an old leather coat, hood up, with specially crafted holes in her hood for her horns, and we just see a little muzzle sticking out of the hood with a cob pipe which illuminates her face as she inhales, shining a light onto a myriad of scars. Behind her, we see our destination perched on the isle, the lighthouse, and the surrounding town. So, why don't we introduce our characters? And we'll start at Tara.
All right. Tara has a deep gnome, so she has kind of pale grayish skin, pure white hair that's tied up in kind of a Chelsea bun sort of situation. Big, round, silver-framed glasses, kind of cool gray-blue tartan that covers up her white blouse and long, pleated brownish skirt. She has a thick tome in her arm, which she's making little notes in, and very excitedly looking out at the waters, looking over the boat, looking at their rowing friend, and kind of making little sketches. And then, yes.
So how are they sitting? How do they hold themselves?
So the way Tara, she always sits a little awkwardly with this little switch between one leg underneath her and another leg underneath her. Sometimes she'll bring both feet up onto the seat to prop her tome when it's like, okay, my arms are tired. Let's set the situation. So she's all little fidgety.
Okay, perfect. And then next to you we have TBC. What do you look like?
So TBC is that they're sat rather upright, and they are a warforged. So their skin is like this porcelain texture with very teal jester makeup, 2 points poking up and down, and their limbs are floating as if they're attached by magic. Their large, rather extravagant, completely impractical pink dress is kind of bunched up around their legs. And between all the filigree on their arms and their hands, there's the peak of what could be bone, could be porcelain. Depends how close you really want to be looking. And they sit very straight, very upright as they look around, their head turning this way, turning that way, and each time they turn it just clicks gently, little softly. Something splashes behind and their whole head just goes and then back again, because all is well, all is fine. I'm sure it will be fine.
Perfect.
They also have a massive hat, if it wasn't obvious.
And you said they sit very properly as well.
Very proper. They're very upright. They haven't got a very relaxed way of sitting.
Okay. And then next we will have Quilenthia.
Quill is of a mixture of averages for a half elf, leaning a little on the stockier side for an elf stature, but still looking refined and timeless. And they, as I said, like the finer things. So they're kitted out in as expensive gear as the DM will let me assume. And very concerned about its weather readiness with all of this gloomy sky, salted air around us. So Quill's probably spent some of the past several moments plucking at invisible loose threads and stray things on her person and on the person of others around her, and probably asking them, oh, where'd you get that cloak or strange medallion or whatever it is that they might be wearing, and generally seems at ease as much as an adventurer preparing to figure something out might. Yeah, I would say probably scanning the horizon and keeping an eye on the weather is about as alert as Quill is being to the moment at hand.
Okay, perfect. How are they sitting on the boat? So they're very like relaxed, as you were saying?
Yeah, like I would say, Quill seems at home on this particular kind of transport.
Okay, interesting. And last but surely not least, Mogra.
Yes, Mogra is sitting quite uncomfortably in the boat because she happens to be the largest one of this quartet. Certainly stands 6'2" normally when we're on land, decked out in visibly, you know, primal. Prints. She's got at least one or two animals draped across her shoulders, definitely. She is not a fan of colder weather. So, depending on how cool it may be out here on the water, more than likely she has tucked up her furs around her neck, especially close. She has a bone necklace. She wears a bone necklace that is very precious to her. And her skin is beautiful mahogany color. With her hair braided back, her braids extend all the way down past her shoulders, almost down to her mid back. And with her hazel eyes, she kind of looks over at Quill like, Quill, you have to stop. You have to stop that. I'm trying to row, right? It's my turn to row, and I understand that you want to make sure that I'm all put together. But we're out on the open water. It's fine. We don't. I'll be happy to give you the rowing next. So that way you don't maybe fidget so much. I understand. It's going to be a while to shore.
Fine. I just want us looking at our best as soon as we land, but I'll give you your piece for now.
Oh, and I appreciate that. And she probably has already started like just fixing her hair perhaps as well, which is lovely, except it's very distracting as she's trying to row. But she wants to make sure that everyone has that rest time before we go on shore. It's been quite a bit of a journey. Not to mention that Mogra is not necessarily comfortable on water as it is. So she's making the best of it, though.
Rowing quicker than
greater stride. So sometimes they'll feel a pull like, ooh, okay, we're really moving now. And row. Yes.
So we're probably temperature-wise sitting around 1 to 2 Celsius or 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's very cold. And the whipping winds as you get further and further away out from the mainland gets colder and colder, and it starts to batter the sides of the ship. as you begin to approach the island, you just see the winds beginning to pick up, almost like the island is whipping the wind right around it and forcing it right into the side of your ship. And the waves begin to crash up as you come and approach the docks. And bobbing and rocking the ship very violently, up and down, holding on as best you can as you begin to row right into the side of the dock. And at the peak of one of these waves, you see the keeper that's been taking you across, Kara, the Minotaur. She jumps off at the peak and lands right onto the dock and begins to tie off the ship. And she bellows out, "Quickly now!" And she reaches her hand to help everyone up and out. And as you grip her hand, you feel that she is definitely a worker woman. These are strong, hefty hands. And she yoinks everyone up with great ease. And she stands probably 6-7 foot tall, and a very muscular build. And still with the pipe in her mouth as she lifts everyone out onto the dock. The dock you now see before you is heavily worn. The sides are slick with seaweed, and you see down the 30-foot dock a little old fisher's shack where lobster traps and strung up ropes are being blown all around, and you can see them hanging on for dear life. So, welcome to North Point Isle.
Seems very welcoming.
I feel like the wind could just carry off with me.
There you go.
If once you say that, Mogra probably puts a gentle but firm hand on your shoulder, like, you may be right about that. Stay close. Stay
Yes,
close.
thank you, Mogra.
So we have a little map here where you can get a little bit of bearings of the island itself. Who would be given this map? Who would hold on to this?
I don't mind if TBC has stored it.
Okay, so as you unfurl your new little map on the parchment, it's whipping back in your face slightly as you kind of hold it down. It's not a big island, but you see up ahead there's a small town. So where would you guys like to begin?
Is that the small town?
Yes.
Yes.
What
Wonderful.
information do we already have apart from they've gone missing?
Why don't you make a history check of the island? And
First roll!
First roll. Here
I
we
can't
go.
wait.
see how much you know.
History.
All of us may?
Everyone. Oh my goodness! Natural 20 for the first roll.
Wow. Strong start.
Oh,
Well
yeah.
done.
I'm just great
Strong
at
start.
D&D.
Yes, indeed.
Another
Oh
natural
my
20.
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh my!
That just
Well
means we're going to
done.
go burning at the end. It's fine.
Yeah.
We've peaked.
My
We've
goodness.
peaked here with this.
That's it, we're
We
done.
love to see
We
it.
succeeded.
We
It's
love
all
to
good.
see it.
This is it. We've won D&D. Two nat 20s in a row. Done.
Okay, so TBC and Terra, you both seem to be very well acquainted with this island and the lore of this island. So this island in itself has it was inhabited at some point at the building of the lighthouse here. However, the winds and very unhospitable weathers quickly left people abandoning this. getting a quick look around, the only inhabitants that you see of the island is an enormity of sheep. There are sheep everywhere. And you can begin to start seeing them almost migrating into the town. As you begin walking past down the dock to look at the fisherman hut, you do see probably a couple of sheep in there. And it's said that this island was very good for sheep, that ill sheep were actually taken here and would be magically healed, that lambs were very healthy or would give birth to 2 lambs. Out in the sea area, there is a chapel that was built here. But it was too hard living for most people, except from the lighthouse keepers who come every so often. Every 3 weeks or so, they're supposed to change. However, there hasn't been a change for a long time. But the locals that you might have talked to before heading here have given you a lot of warnings of strange, dark entities that lurk out.
Okay.
So, who would be leading the party? Who's out in front?
I think our map holder, our map keeper, it would make sense to have in front. Mogra would be a quick second behind, just to make sure everyone is protected, keeping a watchful eye. Matter of fact, DM, if you'll allow me, how is the condition of the sheep as we disembark? Do they still have that quality of looking like they are well taken care of? Do they seem scared in any way?
They're very calm, and as you look over them, it's very easy to see how well taken care of they are. And it's an odd sight to see on this island. As you look out into the vastness of the sea that surrounds you, you can see more storms coming in, the rain dampening your furs. The sheep, however, incredibly happy. Could you make a perception check for me, Mogra?
Sure, I would love to. And that is not very observant. That's only a 3 on the die. That is a total of 6.
Okay. 6. So, looking around, the reason why these sheep are so taken care of is unknown to you right now. You don't see anyone that would be able to take care of them, nor something that would potentially house these creatures or shepherd them around. It's very odd, to say the least.
Okay. And is there, I think Mogra, because she is used to tending animals, even from where she grew up, she's very used to tending to animals. So I think she's more comfortable around animals than people many times. I think she might just take a bit of ration, offer it to 1 or 2 passing sheep, and just if they come up to her hand, pet them a little bit gently.
Sure. You want to make a animal handling check to see how they just react to you in general?
Okay. I called myself out there. All right, let's try it. Okay, that's pretty good. 12 plus that's 13.
13. Okay.
Not terrible.
They are a bit wary to begin with, but a lamb who's more eager to get food kind of jumps at the the opportunity, and as the lamb takes something from you, more sheep begin to gather around, and they almost a cloud of sheep now just surround Mogra.
Oh boy, fan art of that, please. That's adorable. That's amazing. Thank you for that word picture.
And Kara, the person who took you here, says, "Be careful. All things happen on this island. See, you're being kind to the sheep. That's good to know. I'll be here, hopefully, when you get back."
Okay.
I hope you
Like
do
the
not
sound of hopefully.
perish before we return.
Me too.
May I touch one of these sheep? I have not touched one before. And they like delicately reach out their hand. Just pat one on the head.
Mogra hands you a bit of the ration she was feeding them. Like, there you are. They seem to like it.
Oh, I see.
Mm.
I thought you were offering it to me. I do not eat. And as they laugh, it's like a
All
clicking
right, you
noise
do
behind
not
it.
eat. Okay. There's marking some notes. Little doodle sheep in the corner.
Quill, how's your reaction to seeing all this? What are they doing?
Yeah, Quill feels, pretty confident on this kind of terrain and around this kind of agricultural animal in particular, and gives it a long look and is just like, I know from sheep, and these just defy the standard for like the best wool and what have you. I really need to know, exactly what's going on with them. If my family hasn't, found out a way to do some business and get a hold of some of this wool, I don't know what. So to that end, I think there's a couple of things that I can like lean on for Quill, like asking Kara maybe like, who owns this place or who owns these sheep? Or well, I don't know. That might be the thing that Quill starts off with if Kara is still around and answering questions.
Yeah, she's all bundled up, and you can just see her nose. No one, not anymore. Anyway, they just free roam the island. Yeah, some say there's a guardian that looks, and you just see her look off into the distance. Look after them. And just
Does the
see her-
guardian shear the wool? Like it's like, or are they the kind that they don't need shearing?
Some of the wikis that come and look after the lighthouse, sometimes shear, but most of their coats are immaculate and
Okay.
well
But
taken
like,
care of.
If I were to shear it, like nothing bad would happen. Nothing bad seems to happen to anyone who does try and get a little of this wool, maybe is the kind of determination Quill wants to make.
Well, you can certainly try. Don't blame me if something goes wrong.
Right.
And again, they look off to the distance.
Yeah.
Behind you, like looking away.
And was that the shrine or the forgotten temple that had been mentioned earlier? Is that?
No, it's more off to the right side of the island, sort of in the direction of the lighthouse, and they keep kind of looking over that way, like they're trying to watch for something.
Turning to follow their gaze, if Mogra takes a look towards the lighthouse, is there a light still shining right now at the lighthouse? How does the lighthouse itself appear?
From this distance, I'll say make another perception check, just
Okay,
see how much detail you get from it.
sure. let's see. And we are rolling. And that is a dirty 20.
Nice.
20.
Yay.
So as you sort of whip round to have a look at the lighthouse, it's off currently. There's no one to be able to tend it. However, you see at the top of it these almost glowing yellow eyes. They're just staring out, and the figure is bigger than the top of the lighthouse is standing up there. It's probably 20 feet tall, and you can see these massive horns just staring out.
Oh.
And as you blink, it just disappears.
Mogra turns slowly to the rest of the party and says, "Not to alarm you, but I think I just saw what you just saw," gesturing to Kara. There's something very strange that I just saw there.
Strange. Tara begins
Yeah.
looking towards the lighthouse. Oh, well, how do you describe such a strange thing? What does it look like?
Try very, very tall with yellow eyes and horns. But it's gone now. I almost had to. If I didn't see the look on Kara's face, I wouldn't have believed I saw it either.
Oh, I hope it doesn't step on me.
I won't let it.
As Kara says, "I didn't see nothing," and they kind of turn back around and they start heading back down the ship.
Insight check.
Big insight check. Yes.
Perhaps we are.
I would
perish
happily join
before we
you in
return.
that. I am proficient if
Sure.
that can give her advantage, DM.
Yeah. So at 13,
13.
I'm just gonna
Great.
roll for her deception.
We knew, but we're doing this anyway.
Let's roll a 9. She fails.
Mhm.
Yeah, very blatant lie, and you could see that she's probably seen this thing a lot, and is very wary. And she just begins to shuffle off, and you can see her, her sort of demeanor. That's this hard, rugged sailor from these northern islands, kind of fall a bit as she slips on the docks as she's trying to scramble away.
Mogra takes the opportunity to kind of sprint after her very quickly and just grab them by the arm and say, and look them in the eye. "Listen, I think you and I can speak to each other plainly in a direct way. You and I are hardier folk of stronger stock than some, and I don't want my friends and I to be led into some situation that's untoward. Now, being sent here for discovery as opposed to fighting against something is totally different. What else do you know?"
Make a
I'm
persuasion
happy
check.
to. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
I'm keeping my tone. I'm not trying to intimidate, but trying
Yeah.
to speak to them on that
Sure.
level here.
Another natural 20.
Yeah.
It is a day of natural 20s. Love to see it.
Amazing.
Truly blessed
We are
day.
blessed.
Kara says, "Look, I've seen the creature. I haven't heard anything bad about it, but its visage scares me. You saw it. The things can stand 20 foot tall, slender, horns like a ram, terrifying goat-like eyes. It stalks around in the night. Just be careful. Don't upset the sheep in any way."
Has it ever tried to communicate with anyone that's seen it? With you?
No, I just want to stay away as far as possible. On the water, I will feel most safe.
That's totally understandable. Right. Well, go right ahead. Be off, but uh, I would say, well, actually, one question, DM, out of character.
Mhm.
Do we know when the boat would be back to pick us up from the island?
From what she sort of insinuates is that she'll stay here until you're good to come back.
Okay.
And you see her like almost tying up the ropes, getting more comfortable as she kind of comes down onto the ship. And you know the waves are just doing this, but she's just sitting in the boat, and she seems much more comfortable in the sea at this danger than being on this island.
Understood.
Can Quill ask another question
Of course.
Cara? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, am I to understand though that this thing, it protects the sheep? It doesn't eat the sheep. The sheep aren't food for it. The sheep are definitely comfortable with its presence.
From what I can tell, yes. It does no harm to them.
Right. Well, certainly protect yourself. We will finish our business here as best we can. And, well, not to be dire, but if we don't make it back, certainly tell others of our efforts, won't you?
I will. You have my word.
Mayhaps we should go to the lighthouse and
Mm.
investigate.
Yes,
Mhm.
very, very astute idea.
Mhm.
Maybe
Okay.
there be journals or any notes or something.
Mm. Certainly, I think at this point, Mogra will take point. At this point, certainly, we can see the destination in the distance. So, especially protecting our smallest of stature in the party, so proceeding on.
Very good.
The TVC follows the map to the letter. So they've got it in front of them. So and if you're like trying to cut across, they're like, but it's this way.
Just a gentle hand at the hip, like, no.
Yeah.
Mogra.
And once they're out of
Alright.
earshot of Kara or any other, if there's other villagers, then out of earshot of anyone else, I think Quill would be like, well, if at any point me turning into a sheep, if a sheep is something I can use wild shape to turn into, if that's at any point gonna get us some inside intel to whatever's going on with the sheep here, I can give that a shot.
That's a question that Mogra turns to the rest of the group and says, do I remember that any of you have the ability to speak with animals at all? I know that exists.
Yes. I have the magics to comprehend languages, but animals not my forte.
I can, but they do not answer.
And Mogra kind of puzzles at that moment, like, I wonder
Yeah,
how you know that then.
Make a note.
Ooh, all right.
Okay.
I figured I'd ask. Proceeding on then.
So, entering into the abandoned town, and you can see that it's very ramshackled, and it's clear to see that no one inhabits this place. You can see that there's smashed glass, the doors are off the hinges, and the place is in general disrepair. And through the whipping of the sound and the wind and the rain, you understand why people didn't want to settle this place. Looking into the houses, you see the only residents here are the sheep. And they've just filled houses with themselves to get out of the rain. Um,
I like the sheep houses. Mayhaps
Yes, it
they
is
are the
quite
villagers.
adorable.
And you see, there's a couple of houses around, and there is a well in the middle of the town itself. As you begin to move through the well, almost the darkness in the well begins to swell up and almost billow out and pop as these three shadow-like creatures begin to come out, and you just
dear.
hear
Sword at the ready.
Mage
Most
armor.
Definitely not, sir. No. Oh yes, sword is out. And Mogra yells, "Stay behind me!" and kind of the mom
All
arm,
right.
just oh dear.
TBC just
All
puts their
right.
dress in front of her.
I'm well hidden now.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My dear. Well,
Okay. So let's put everyone in. Here we go.
This bodes well. This is fine.
This is fun.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine.
So, we are
first
gonna-
initiative.
Yes. So
You
for
excited for your first battle, Quill?
Yes.
What do
So-
I type? What do I do?
so what we
Fine.
do is we go onto the core page. First we select onto the token. I'll make sure that everyone has control of their token.
Yes,
Some
please.
bio and info,
Yeah.
actually, not core.
Turn by the
Oh, I got two.
character
I'm so sorry.
sheet. Oh, it's okay.
Delete me.
I'll make sure everyone has control.
She's zooming around.
The zoom in. They're so excited.
Zooms. The zoom.
So I believe everyone should have control, so you should be able to move yourself. So if you select onto your character to start with, then you go to your character sheet and you'll see next to initiative.
I'm going to refresh. My token is not allowing me to
I'll just double check.
grab
'cause-
onto that.
Oh, there we go. I'll just need to.
I don't think I've
Um,
ever seen a wizard with such a good initiative.
Okay, there we go. That should be it now. You should be able to move
There it is. There we are. Okay.
And then you
right.
just hit the word initiative, Quill, on the
Do
actual
I, though?
character sheet.
Okay. Uh-oh.
It's okay.
It should be above your hit points in case you're struggling to
There it
find
is.
it. It's a
All
lot.
right.
It's a lot on there.
Okay.
All right.
So cool. Perfect.
And you can look at it, any type of ways. Going last in the initiative could be good for assessing the situation before it's your
Sure, yes.
time.
Thank you.
So-
You're really, reassuring me about what this means.
Oh yes. Oh yes. hmm
Okay. So, starting off with, you see all these shadows beginning to culminate and they form these figures. And they don't seem to have any expression. They're almost humanoid, just cloaked in this shadow, almost like a veil that you can see right through as the rain just drips all the way right through them. Tara, you are the first to act. What would you like to do?
Well, I am feeling incredibly vulnerable, so I am going to do mage armor on myself.
Okay.
That way I'm only a little squishy and not super squishy.
Just a little bit of the treat.
Just a little bit.
Perfect. So that's your
And
action.
yeah, I'm staying behind everybody. I like being at the back, so I'll stay quite there. Yes, I'm quite happy.
Is there any bonus actions you would like to do?
Well, I casted a spell. Let's see. Let me see.
If you have any bonus action cantrips you may use, or
I don't think I do, because I'm pretty sure Firebolt is an action.
Yes.
Yes. So that's it. I'm just like, oh dearie, and Mage Drummer, and it just looks like basically her clothes just hovering in a clear magical state. So another tartan shawl and maybe like a little bonnet on her head, but it's all
Okay.
like shimmery, transparent.
So it's been magical girl-ified.
Oh, yeah. But now it just makes her look like a really cute little old granny because with the money and everything, she's like, oh dear.
Cute. Okay, perfect. TBC, what would you like to do?
Dress still in the way. They are going to defend. So this closest shadow, I'm, if needed, step slightly to the side so I don't hit Mogra. And I will do a simple firebolt, please.
Go for it. Here's the natural ones.
That's a not one.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh my.
So what happens here?
They slowly extend out their hand in a very fluid movement, and their hand goes back. And if you're looking close enough, there's like a flint and spark, and it just keeps sparking and sparking, but the wind just does not let the flame light. And they click their hand back and they simply turn and go, oh dear, I may be broken. And I don't think I can do much else as a bonus action.
Okay.
So that's me. I'm going to stay back here and be defended. So yes.
Feel free to step back behind Mogra
Yeah,
if you prefer a shield at all.
It's a very like smooth sidestep.
Okay, Mogra, what would you like to do?
Yes. Okay. Mogra, she goes into a rage, and it is a rage that is more felt than heard. You hear this low growl come from her very depths, her very core, and you've heard it before. But now, especially in the rain, with the rain coming down, there's a steam that is billowing off of her right now. And she shouts out, if you be friend or foe, let that be known now. And she actually holds her action if something comes forward and decides to hit any of us,
Okay.
then swinging on it immediately.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, as you say that, you just hear as they it is their turn now.
That bodes ill.
And they are going to just begin to almost float and charge forward towards you. In their, how far can they move? They go very quick. The first one comes up right next to you, as it will trigger your action, and you may now hit Mogra.
Yes, let us go. Longsword coming out. It is a +1 longsword. So let's see if that helps. Rolling now. 24 to hit.
24 definitely hits.
Wonderful. Rolling that damage here. Nope, that's not damage. Go back. Here we go.
Yeah, so it's got the one.
And
Yeah, so it.
did it do it? Oh, it did do it. I'm sorry. Yes, it
That's
did. Yeah, and we're going two-handed, and plus rage damage, was a +2.
Okay. So the two-handed is 6 plus 2 is 8 altogether. Okay.
and yes, with some mighty swish of her sword. And how is it looking right now, DM?
Currently, as you swing through, it almost has this confidence about it, expecting your sword not to do much to it, but it just cleaves right through it. The magical essence of the blade itself begins to tear the creature in half, and it's looking much worse than it thought it would be. And its face, like almost this veil, like sunking into her eyes and into its mouth, and it has a very shocked expression on. It doesn't look very well.
Moga cries out, "As you can see, I did try diplomacy."
Awesome.
And that's the
No,
end of
you
my
a
turn.
valiant
You
attempt.
did very well. Very well. Sometimes you have to be diplomatic with the blade.
Amazing. So, Quill, what would you like to do?
Wow. That is the question. Would I be able to cast Spike Growth and then use Thorn Whip as a bonus action?
Let's see. Thorn Whip is a Thorn Whip is a action.
Okay.
So you'll see it in your casting time.
Okay. But can I go ahead and cast Spike Growth on the terrain between us and the baddies as it is now?
You could. So the area radius effect of the spike growth is 20-foot radius. So it would be from here. Pretty much all this would be spike growth.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big range spell effect.
But then we have to avoid the terrain ourselves, otherwise we receive damage from that.
Yes, if you move into that radius.
And it would block off. It would block us in our little area right here. It looks like.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Without having to go all the way around.
Right. Don't think I want to do that, but maybe Thunder Wave might be a more appropriate choice.
Sure, you can do that if you position yourself into the correct area. So Thunder Wave is a cube, 15-foot cube. So it would come out like this. If you wanted to get into this position here, you can do a big cube effect.
Okay. And so then how do I on Roll20 here then just move into that position? Do I just...
So you click onto your character and then you can just drag and drop them or use arrow keys to move them up.
Okay. And it's 3 spaces up?
Yes, if you want to move there. And you have 30 feet and every square is 5 feet.
Okay. I don't want to be like besties with them necessarily. So if I can be like 1 square back, that feels safer to me.
Sure. Yep.
So neighbors with Mogra and facing the baddies and hitting them with the Thunder Wave.
Yeah, go for it. So you just click Thunder Wave in your spell sheet or on your core page if it's there, and it should roll it for you.
Okay. Do I click the little chat bubble on it to get it to roll, or
you can just hit the word, or you can hit
the word. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm casting at level. I can cast at level 2 since I have 2 spell slots, but it would take all of my level 2 spell slots.
It would take one of your level 2 spell slots. It does more damage, but you obviously have limited second level spells.
Okay. Then
So
I think I'll go ahead and...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
You say you should be able to cast it at first level, which is a little bit less, but you may have more, so it may be worth.
Right. There it is.
There we go.
Oh, heck yeah.
Thank you for getting me through the mechanical bits. I deeply appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So I will now roll against your DC, which is 14, and I have to either hit or exceed that number to be damaged. So I'm going to roll 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So one of them succeeds, 2 of them fail.
Yes.
And I believe from the spell description, I still take half the damage. Yes, I do. So we will say 11 thunder damage. This one here is
Well
got
done.
big one. So what does this
Good
look
hit.
like?
So Quill gets serious real fast now that business is at hand, the real business of adventuring, and with their druidic focus seems to draw on the gloom and doom all around us in the weather that's going on and the vibe and the mood. And with all of that available to her, she just pummels the baddies with like almost visible sounds of thunder in the rain. Like you can see the sound wave causing the drops of rain to like splatter midair, and it shows the percussive quality of the damage on the baddies themselves as it lands on them and knocks the two of them, or affects the two of them.
Yeah. So as that happens, you see this like boom, as all the thunder wave comes out and strikes one. The one that Mogris has sliced and was kind of looking shocked now just like evaporates, disappears, and the other two get pushed 10 feet back with the waves, and you can see the shift of rain splattering onto them, and it slowly then just comes back to the rain dropping down, and it's very loud. It goes boom, and you could see like the houses shake slightly by the enormity and the sound. A couple of the sheep get spooked and like start freaking out for a second, but oddly get quickly calmed. But you can hear a rustling in the houses next to you. Perfect. Is there anything else you would like to do? Do you want to move any more? You still have 15
Maybe.
feet of movement.
Okay. I think. Let's see. I will take suggestions because now I've now I don't know what to do. What would be good to do? Is there is there like I have a cantrip called guidance, or is there something like that I can maybe cast to help? No, not guidance. That takes an action.
Yeah,
It looks like.
I think most of them take actions.
Got it.
But you could move another 15 feet. Your main spell that would probably be the most effective as a bonus action is Healing Word, but you already cast a bigger spell. But Healing Word is your main bonus
Got it.
action. One
Got
that you
it.
do. But
Okay,
if you wish not to be on the front line, like next to Mogra, you could, head backwards or hide behind this tree, or you
Yeah, I think I'll take
charge at them
cover.
if you want.
I think I'm maybe taking cover behind the tree.
Sure.
Is what my spirit is telling me, but I don't know.
Go for it. You can just move yourself wherever you want in those 3 squares that you have left.
There, I think was okay. Is that okay?
That's fine. Perfect.
Thanks.
Congrats on your first round of combat and first kill.
It was really fun to describe it. I role play it plenty in other ways, but like this is the first time really describing like combat. I super get it. I totally get it now.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So with Quill's turn over, very successful. Shale, what are you doing?
Yes, I see Quill do the thing. Like, oh, very well done, dearie. Very well done. I open up it's a very simple tome for my notes and spells, but I just whip it open and think, all right, I think I understood what we need to do here. Okay, whew. And I just circle my hand, and kind of a rev of fiery magic starts to come up, and I sling my hand forward as a firebolt launches forth, and I'll hit the one on the right.
Perfect. Thanks.
Is my goal. So let's go firebolt.
24.
Ooh.
That definitely hits.
All right. And my damage needs to be done. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
So if you just hit the fireball in the chat.
Yes. There we go.
2.
For 2. 2 fire damage.
The one on the right. Perfect.
Hey, 2's better than none, so
Something's
more hit
better than
points than I
nothing
did.
always.
So yeah, what does your fire actually look like?
Yeah, so in like that rev up, it's initial like a pale yellow, but then it starts to get into like a bright, vibrant, almost cerulean gray blue before it burns up and launches forth from her hand as she does like a full, almost in a Spider-Man-esque wrist flip.
Awesome. So it just strikes and gets pushed away. You just see it get striked in the chest. And it seems to be very dazed from being pushed, and it's trying to focus on its next target.
Okay.
Are you happy
I
where you
don't-
are? Do you want to move?
No, I don't. I don't like to stay where I've launched my attack, so I'm going to skitter off. So 5 to 10. I can only go 25, so I'm going to skitter off behind the tree, not quite beside Quill, but just a little bit around. And being a little gnomish, I'm just ducking down in my my armor and my shawl up.
Amazing. TBC.
Okay, right. With a clink clank. How far away are they? I'm going to try firebolt again, just in case. Shade my hand with my dress. Hopefully it goes off again. Right, let's try this.
14.
14.
I believe that. Yes, that hits.
Okay, cool. So this time, when the hand flicks up, this teal flame that seems to spark and sparkle goes off, and their torso, which is actually clear, it's glass, where you can see a spine followed by the clockwork, and the automaton actually glows the same teal color and bursts with this energy as if they've kind of revved it up to combat against the wind, and it just shoots out straight to the one in front.
Perfect.
And does 8 fire damage.
Nice. So as it strikes onto the shadow, you can see it's very fading now. It doesn't look like it's got much life left, as them both are still disorientated and are still trying to figure out. We are just waiting on Mogra to get back. But do you want to move anywhere?
No, I'm still good. I'm gonna support my girl Mogra here. Just
Alright.
moral support more than anything, I think, because she can take care of herself, but I'm just moral support. Although I may just step back a little bit.
Okay.
Just a smidge, as a treat. Although here, because I don't want them to notice the other two.
Okay. So yeah, you can just see that the shadows are very weak now. You're beginning to see some of their faces, and they're mostly just like haunted people that are clinging almost to this little bit of life that they have, and are fighting for it as much as they can, these veiled shadow creatures. I believe we're just getting Mogra back in a second. They're just typing in here. And yes.
While we're
Use it.
waiting, just for flavor, if they're starting to fade, like the residual fire has like these little shining sparkle points that are maybe casting this light away as it fades. It's almost like, you know, when you burn paper and it starts to burn out, like that. Just for flavor, just for extra, just because
Yeah.
I don't understand chill.
We're all about flavor here. Don't worry.
All about flavor.
I'm just gonna go let my cat out of the room, and hopefully.
Oh, Lola. She's my fave. She sometimes stays in our other session, and she'll meow at like perfectly timed moments. It's excellent.
Yes, to keep her from meowing.
Well, very, very good shots there, TBC. Well done.
Thank you. I think my first calibration was off. I have and there's clicking, you can kind of hear it over the gust of the wind. Pulled it out of the bag, as they say.
Yes, yes.
As the shadows begin to
Hey,
hello, welcome back.
welcome back.
Back right on time, hopefully.
Yes. Mogra, it is your turn now.
Indeed, indeed. So, seeing one of my friends strike down this enemy before me, I shall rush the remaining two and take a swipe, and let's see if we can hit.
Go for it.
Longsword coming out once again.
22 does hit.
Wonderful. And here we go with damage. So
14?
that is 14. Yes.
16. Big hit.
Yes. Mogra is especially not fond of technological difficulties. Extra ragey right now.
So
Indeed.
as you swipe through, this one perishes. With your big strike right through the shadow, the other one is now being very wary of its last glimmers of life, and you can see it trying to turn and run away. Would you want to attack of opportunity, or would you want to let it go back to the shadows?
I would, you'll see again, Mogra struggles with doing things diplomatically versus not. She does point her sword at it and cry out, "Tell us why you're here and what you want. My ancestors are spirits too, but they protect while you harm. We want to know why." She'll try.
Sure. Make a persuasion check.
Sure. I don't know how much you can intimidate a specter like that, but sure, I'll try persuasion instead. Oh, okay. Ooh, all right. Hold on. I'm sorry. I went and I rolled well on my I rolled a 19 on that. I hope
That's
I'm
okay.
gonna
If that's what you rolled, then that's fine. We
Yes.
can do it.
Okay.
So, yeah. So 19.
Okay.
As you point this, you can see the words trying to form on this veiled face as like the veil almost gets sucked into the mouth, as you can see its eyes looking at you, haunted, being sunk in, and tries to communicate something, and just and it doesn't seem to be able to communicate with you.
But it does seem like it is trying.
Yes, it seems to want to communicate, but it's like almost like slowly floating backwards, holding onto the veil of life that it has.
If it is floating backwards, rather than antagonize it, I will try to back off slowly as well. I
Okay.
will take 1 5-foot step and see whether or not it decides to pursue. But if it does, then yes, I'm happy to swing at it again.
Okay. So as you begin to back off and it backs off, it just dissipates and flies down the well.
Okay.
Back once again. Does anyone else want to try to take a shot at it as it's leaving? Or are everyone else happy to?
I'm happy leaving it.
Okay. So, and that will be the end of the combat. As the specter disappears, You hear this, and the light turns on in the lighthouse.
Oh. Okay.
Well, there does seem to be someone home after all.
Yes.
You did see me try to reason with it, though, did you not? I
Oh,
mean, I know.
yes, you were fantastic. It would have
You're
won
doing
me
a
over.
great job with your professional skills. It's
Very proud of you. The lessons are paying off.
Yeah, well, I have all of you to thank. Time was
been really
well,
hard.
Time was, you know my history. Time was, I would have just gone in stomping and with a war cry, and that would be the end of that. But I truly do hope this is not. This seems to be a spirits that are tormented in some way. I occasionally commune with my ancestors from time to time, and it's way more peaceful than that.
While they're having a little chat, can I see anything about or in the well?
Make a perception check.
Uh-huh.
As you do that, also, did I happen to miss any damage that was done to Mogra at all while
No.
I was disconnected? Okay.
With a 12 for the perception,
My good lady.
as you peer
And-
down.
Can I offer guidance on any kind of actions now?
It has to be before the roll happens.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
It's okay. As you look down, you see the worn rope and a bucket floating down at the bottom. And in the bucket, you see the specter's face looking up. That's just sitting in a bucket.
So cute and sad.
Just wave at it.
It just...
Is it?
Oh no.
Is it still there? TBC?
It is.
Oh, okay. If we have a moment, I could sit down and do a bit of a ritual and try my comprehend languages. Maybe I can talk to it. I can't talk to sheep, but I might be able to talk to it.
I think, and you hear clicking, that would be good. I fear they are maybe the lost souls from here. And they sound a little sad.
Yeah.
Sad clicking noises.
Let's see, Tara, you're a wizard, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Could you make either our Arcana or History check?
They are both the same, but
Okay, whatever you like.
I'll do all.
Is there any way I could assist for anything they need?
They rolled a 20, so they should be okay.
Never mind.
We love to see it.
So, as you're thinking about prepping comprehend languages, and you're perhaps you can tell me how you would know this information, but any of the notations of the screeching doesn't seem that it is a language at all. That it's almost the sounds that I was making were the only things it could get out. That there is no language there, only the screams of the deceased.
All right, so everyone else sees Tara flip to her appendix, go through like, okay, languages, and then flip back through her tome. It's like, okay, languages, dictations. Something's not quite right. I don't think they were actually speaking. I think they were just vocalizing. Maybe I don't need my spell.
Well, at any rate, it does seem like the bottom of a well is not the ideal place for anyone, alive or otherwise, to reside. There's is it possible to suss out fear on the part of the spirit DM?
Mm,
Maybe an insight check or something.
sure, I'll say you could try insight check.
Specifically, I think Mogra is trying to determine, are they being controlled or are they just lashing out outright?
Okay.
Okay, let's see here. It's 13. It's not
13.
terrible.
Yeah, from your reaction in your face-to-face encounters with the creature, it does seem that it almost only way that it can either vocalize or understand its emotion was through violence at that one point. That it hasn't seen anyone else apart from the thing that's brought it into the shadow plane. But on seeing your diplomacy towards these creatures, it took a step back and tried to reassess its own feelings and thus recessed back into the depths.
All right. And, Mogra will look to the rest and say, well, we tried diplomacy. If it comes at us again, unleash. But we tried to reason with it, at least. It's an awful place to have to live if you've traveled beyond the veil. But I think we should keep going, keep moving.
Yes, I think we got that interesting bit. And I point towards the lighthouse.
May I just try one more thing?
Yep.
And TBC looks down into the well and says, if you can communicate differently, i.e. knocking, could you give a knock for yes? One knock for yes?
You don't hear anything. You see it as its hand just goes through stuff.
Then I am.
But it did try. But did it try? Is the interesting thing.
It did.
If
could we do charades with it?
That's all I'm trying.
I didn't happen to
you-
see digits or fingers, so that may be difficult.
Could
but-
you raise a, I guess, spectral limb?
a
If
tendril?
the thing that
Maybe like ooh for a yes and
Oh,
for
yeah.
a
So
no?
it kind of looks like this, like on my video.
Okay.
It kind of just like has these.
Oh yes.
if you if the thing that and you can hear the clicking, the processing,
Mhm.
killed you is here, could you raise a limb?
Oh.
Oh dear.
Is it
Okay.
again the same thing that took the lighthouse keepers?
Oh dear.
Oh. Oh
Are
dear.
you a lighthouse keeper?
Okay.
No,
No
no.
tendril. No
Okay.
no limb this time.
Or
Are
part
you
of the search party?
Part
Oh,
of
sorry.
no, thank you, Quill. That's an excellent question. Please answer Quill's question.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh dear.
I am sorry.
Incredible. Oh, Mogra furrows her brow a little bit at that affirmation. Oh, what have I done? Oh, wait, that must mean the other two are part of their team. Oh no, oh no. she has this total look like the smolder like falls away, like rage. We're out of rage. We're everything. Just now her whole situation just kind of falls like, oh no, oh dear.
You just feel this very strange sensation on your hand. It's like these are little metal fingers who have probably gotten quite cold from the wind. Just click, click, click over and says, "They are probably not suffering now, thanks to you."
right,
Yes.
if you say so. But at any rate, we will. And she looks over the hole and says, "It's almost like that person that has others that are communicating more efficiently, but they're trying and just it's as if loudness can help the understanding. Don't worry, we're traveling to the lighthouse now. We will deal with the the abomination."
Oh,
And
Okay.
Quill will just try and get Mogra's eye and say, "Hey, you tried diplomacy. You tried it. You gave it your best shot. And we didn't know until we knew, and with a really knowing kind of look that this might be something that they're aware of is really, really important for Mogra to be reassured on."
it is difficult to process emotions when you are not used to them and in a unfamiliar state.
You're
And the
not
core
wrong.
just
This is why it's difficult for me to deal with people most of the time. Well, onward, but waves a solemn wave to the specter before marching off again.
I just very tidily over the well. I doodled you in my notebook. You'll be remembered.
Yeah, the sunken in face and the mouth of the veil, it kind of goes into like a weird, horrible smile. It's like,
Oh, delightful, dear.
That's quite horrifying. Yes, we're moving on. We're moving.
as you begin to leave this area and make your way up into the lighthouse area, and as you begin walking up the path itself, it's on an upward slope. It's a bit of a hard movement with the wind from the north pushing you around. And you hear again the foghorn of the lighthouse. And it's spinning light. As you look up, you don't see anyone tending the lighthouse. Nothing has seemed to have changed. As you move to the front of the Wiki's house, yes.
as we're kind of just as we're coming up to the lighthouse, is there anything that looks either suspicious, any other movement of people that is not sheep, or a sign of whatever it was that Mogra saw on top of the thing?
If you wish to do so, people can make perception checks and see what they see.
Oh, yes,
yes.
please.
Can I also do
Absolutely.
detect magic instead of
If you want to. Detect magic is only a 30-foot.
Okay.
So it's not a massive one.
I'll save it then.
It's good for in like a smaller room where you could get a proper ping. Being out in the open is a bit more difficult. But you could also make a perception if you want to.
I dare say Mogra is too preoccupied with all of the weapons that she has on her. She's double checking all of her weapons right now, because if that was any indication of what we're up against. So she's got hand axe on one side, check, hand axe on the other side, check, javelins ready to go. I mean, she's just going through her whole array of weaponry, so she sees nothing.
Sure.
TBC is distracted by this as well and starts checking their own equipment less thoroughly, probably just mimicking the motions, just tapping their quarterstaff like tap 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 tap.
We see Shale. You see the sheep as you're leaving. They kind of come out and look at you leave. Before going back into their homes. You don't see anything out of the ordinary. You see off into the far distance on the left-hand side a kind of rundown barn over on the area, where you see not many sheep actually gathered in there. They seem to have moved on to living in the big city, and the crumbled chapel in the far distance. Quill, however, as you're keeping an eye out for anything strange, as you turn back over to see where you just came from, you see gathered around a bunch of sheep, a tall, about 20-foot tall figure, burning yellow eyes, huge horns, very slender. You get more of a view of its body shape. Very, very slender, a black skin. And it looks over, and as you almost double take, it then disappears once again.
So Quill turns to Mogra and describes the vision just seen and said, is that what is it can like is that what everybody
Oh
is,
yes.
is
What?
seeing?
What? Oh. Oh,
You know, the thing with the eyes and the horns.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Where?
it was just right over there, but it's gone now. So, you know, I don't know if it has some sort of teleportation ability or what's going on here.
I wish I could see it.
I
I'll
don't
look
know
at
about
my
that.
notes.
Honestly, you don't. Although, what I would be curious to know is whether or not this entity is the reason why these specters and shades are trapped here. If it's in any way responsible, we must deal with it outright. Absolutely.
Was it in the lighthouse that you saw it?
Yes, indeed. Just standing on the
and
roof
you,
there,
Quill?
just
This was in the pasture.
Yeah,
Just
back into the town. You saw it.
back towards the town.
Yeah.
So
just
in
where
the
you came from.
opposite direction of the lighthouse.
Oh.
it travels
So,
quickly,
I was
whatever
going
it
to say
is.
this thing moves around of its own free will, on its own plane of existence, perhaps. Is there perhaps like an arcana check about any type of presence that results in the type of apparition we saw? Like, is the way that the apparition spawning itself, is that some sort of, oh, well, that's what happens when this thing turns people into stuff?
So you're a druid.
Yeah.
So you could either make just make a wisdom check for me.
Okay.
So you go to sheet and you can just hit on wisdom and it should roll just a flat wisdom. Oh, natural one.
There it is.
Well, you know, it felt good at the time.
It's all right.
Good train of thought. Dice did not
Yeah.
want it today.
That's for you. So from
One of those things that Quill will figure out at 3 a.m. in the morning when it doesn't matter anymore.
Yep, bolts right up. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your train of thought was like on that path of like, I wonder if there's anything I could remember, or I feel like I've seen this before, and it's just like, it's something, I'm sure it's something. Is it? I can't think of it right now, but it's something. You know, it's a good thing, or is it's a really bad thing? You're not. It's one of the two.
It's a thing, guys. It's definitely a thing.
As you begin to approach the lighthouse, as the lighthouse itself is attached to a building. The building is it's not massive in size. There is you can see a slight chimney stack, and the lighthouse is maybe 30, 40 feet high, and the light is slowly spinning. As you approach, you still can't see anyone. Looking around, there hasn't been much foot traffic up to the path itself. I'll put everyone onto the sheet. Oops.
Okay.
I'll put it like this. So, you see in front of you a nice, sturdy oak door with iron bands surrounding it. This has to be the most intact building that you've seen so far. There's a couple of slates of the roof that are a bit askew and could be letting in some rain, but in general, it's very well taken care of. You see off to the right side a couple of boxes. You see a very well lacquered wall that is maybe not long ago painted. Same with the lighthouse as it's spinning. And as you approach the front door, you once again hear the foghorn.
Unsettling, that. Well, looking at the rest of the group, how does everyone else in the group look? Does anyone need to take a brief rest at all for us to collect ourselves? Shall we dip in out of the rain just for a little bit and then let folks do that, or do we seem well enough to press on and pursue the lighthouse proper?
I am well.
I think a short rest lets me recover spell slots, if that's something I should do right before we maybe encounter
Out of character. That's why Cher was asking.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could take a wee dip out of the rain and sort ourselves a little bit.
Okay. So, moving towards the door, who wants to open the door?
Can I check if it's locked? Quietly,
Yes.
gently, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Make an investigation check.
Can do. 9.
Yeah, it seems fine. It's not
Okay,
locked.
yeah, awesome, fab, love that. Unless they are stopped, TBC opens the door.
It's fine.
Well
can't do that to a
played,
newbie.
DM. Well played. And I'm having trouble moving Mogris
Oh,
tokens.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'll need
please,
to
I don't know.
fix the actual thing. Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah.
But that was a good one. Good one.
That's why I like to DM. That's the only reason.
Yeah, gotta love the fake outs.
There we go. That should be fixed.
Alright.
Okay, so as you
Yes.
unlatch the door and swing it open, the wind quickly pushes your hand in as the door swings open. Inside, you see a very simple setting. A couple of chairs have been knocked over to your right hand side as you enter. An old tattered rug sit next to a hearth, a simple wooden table. You see a couple of tankards on the table itself, an unlit fire, 3 beds on the far side of the cabin. You see 2 windows that are very well taken care of and intact. The floors are relatively clean. There's nothing that seems to be out of place immediately. Walking inside, you can see off to the left that there is a wall and a door leading to another room.
Okay, I'll take some cautious the stealth steps in. I'm gonna try and stealth.
Okay, maybe you want to.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
14.
Sure. As you gently click, clack your way in.
Well, with the stealth, actually,
Yes.
as they lift their foot, a little contraption comes out and a soft little padded thing comes out from underneath their foot. Inbuilt slippers.
Brilliant. Wow.
Love it.
Okay.
House slippers.
Yeah.
And Mogra will bring up the rear. Sword still out, I would imagine. Just making sure to watch our six.
Okay.
As it were.
Does anyone else want to stealth, or is
Yeah, we deep gnomes are known for being soft-footed, so I follow in and step.
Okay.
So I get advantage on my stealths.
Nice.
Oh dearie me!
Oh dear.
Oh, where are they?
Oh dear.
Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Thus the dice have turned.
amazing?
I
I
creep
believe they
down,
are.
like, where did my
they are-
glasses go? It's very wet and slippery. They just fell off. Oh dear.
I believe they are here, Shale.
Oh, 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 okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
oh, I'm good. Okay, thank you, dear. Oh.
You are welcome.
So I think Quill will do a stealth into the room as well, and will want to cast detect magic in the room as soon as possible. But I don't know if that's all in the same.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, it's fine. We're not in combat, so actions are free flowing.
Okay, great. So then first I do a roll for stealth.
Yeah.
Which I think I have terrible stats for as it is. So
Oh,
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So-
All right then. Well,
So
one
so
of-
much for stealth.
as Shale's looking for their glasses, and you kind of creep up behind, trying to stealth, you just like knock into them. They
Yeah.
stumble a little bit.
Just trip right over. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Are you
Oh, it's
okay?
I got my glasses. We'll be okay.
You've got your okay.
Oh.
But now I can detect magic. Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
There we are. All right.
Okay. So 30 feet from where you are. So say you've just entered into the room itself.
Yeah.
And we got 30 feet. Okay. So it's pretty much everywhere. Apart from the lighthouse. So in the
it doesn't extend. Sorry, it doesn't extend to the little trap door in front of the stairs.
yeah, so it goes to about here.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then this section over here is upwards.
Got it.
So yeah, as you kind of walk in, we'll say you walk around. It's concentration up to 10 minutes, so it's you have it active as you're moving around. The one thing that seems magical is coming from a section over here, and it's a very odd magic. It's almost I believe it would be like enchantment, but it's very faint.
Would
Ow.
an arcana check? Sorry, if someone else has got something else to offer, feel free.
I was going to say more for flavor. Out of interest, am I glowing with the tech magic?
Probably technically yes, you would be.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I'm just like, whoa, magic.
There we are.
And then everyone else's magical items that they have would also ping off. But
Yeah. So yeah, I guess would it make sense if there's like a way to sort of register the vibe as something with an arcana check to sort of be like, is it like a good vibe or a bad vibe?
you would potentially need to do like a vibe check spell would be detect good and evil.
Right.
So that would be the vibe check.
Okay.
Detect magic and arcana is more going into the technicals of how the magic works, and what skills you have and stuff. But yeah, you detect that there is something magical over in the section over here.
Well, so then Quill just sort of like, indicates to the rest of the group that, something's up with that particular piece of something over there, and generally describes what we've learned.
Okay.
Mayhaps we take a rest before we investigate, just in case it is untoward.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, why don't we, while our characters have a 5-10 minute break, why don't we actually take a 5-10 minute break? And we can,
I need snacks.
Snacks, go to the
Snacks.
bathroom, and if that's all good with y'all guys.
Yeah.
And we will be back. And we'll say 10 minutes. Does that sound good for
Yeah.
everyone? Okay.
Sounds wonderful.
Hello and welcome back. So our little adventurers have had a short rest. If you need any of your short rest spells to get back, if you needed to roll hit dice, you can do so. If there's anything you get back from there, you can get your hit dice or any of your things from a short rest. But yes, we find ourselves in the Wiki's cabin, where you've been spending the past 10-15 minutes sort of acquainting yourself. In the next room over, there is a magical item. It appeared to be a book of some kind. So what would you like to do?
Well, if the book was pointed out, Tara would probably take a moment to look it over and see what it's all about.
Okay. So yeah, entering into the next room, it seemed to be a very simple writing area. There's a few books, mostly about lighthouse upkeep, and a lot of nautical themed writings. On the desk, the thing that seemed to be pointed out to you appears to be a journal.
Oh. All right.
Do you want to investigate or have a read through, or?
Yeah, I
Would you
think
like
I
to?
would like to flip through and take my own notes as I go.
Okay. So opening this seemingly non-magical magical book, reading the first couple of pages, it seems to be a hour by hour description of what all the lighthouse keepers were doing, hour by hour, and it's all dated, and everything seems to be really well kept. And as you're flicking up, you notice today's date, and you notice that was 3 p.m. You see that it's written. Then at 4 p.m., it says the lighthouse has been activated. The foghorn has been lit. Then the next half hour, you see a couple of more writing. And as you're holding the book, you can see writing materializing in it.
Oh, that is fascinating. And I turn around and waddle out back to the room with the book in my hands. Turn it around. It's like, look, it's actively writing events. It's it's very fascinating.
Be careful. Should you be holding on to it like that? Maybe set it down here on a bed or
not
something.
burning.
Does it know we're here?
I look
No.
at the note. No,
The notes over past couple of days, and you know they've been missing for a good few weeks. Nothing has mentioned anything ever happening to them.
Mhm.
It looks like it's just about the lighthouse itself, I think.
How is it worth it to know how far back the entries go?
A good couple of months.
Okay.
Make an investigation check, Shale. Just see how much
Alright.
information you can determine.
Perhaps we are in a alternate dimension.
That is a fascinating
we-
theory.
Are the ghosts?
17. So, you can see a couple of weeks ago that there was written, no relief has come. I guess we'll keep trying to message out for our replacements and keep up with our duties. And they seem to have just kept going. As you're all sort of enraptured in this, you see the bed blanket kind of flip up and almost like someone's making the bed.
Ah,
Oh, sword back out. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction for Mogra at this point.
I just put a gentle hand on Margot's knee because I think they're just spirits still working. Like life has not changed for them.
Oh, well, all right, as long as they're not attacking, but
I
what
mean,
an
would you not
exist-
want a spirit to make your bed? That's pretty nice.
Honestly, I would hope for a nicer existence for them, don't you think?
can I try and track any more movement and what this little thing's doing?
Sure. I'll say make a very difficult investigation check to see if you
Okay.
can try follow around.
Hard to reach
I
out and touch a
feel-
spectre, isn't it?
With a little guidance, I may
Yeah.
do well.
Some guidance.
Okay.
Some guidance, right.
If the DM will allow that.
So I roll that first.
What does guidance do again?
You can add a
Just make-
D4. to
Okay.
roll.
Okay, cool. Investigation.
There it is. All right.
I'll do
Thank
it
you.
anyway.
Fantastic.
Thank you, DM. Thank you for your candor there.
So an 8.
An 8.
You start seeing something like the window moves slightly as you try see what it goes. The door moves open slightly, but that could just be the wind. You're not too sure. A whistling coming through the fireplace.
What about fairy fire? Would that be of a benefit?
Could fair fire is used to find invisible creatures.
Yeah.
Really?
So I'll cast it
Okay.
and see what happens.
Okay. So it's each object in a 50 feet cube within range. Yeah. So as you cast it, what does your fairy fire look like?
It's like a small flame that licks the outline of the object in variations of the blue, green, or violet light that it's describing here.
So as you see it fall, you get the outline of people, but only for a second as it then collapses in on them. And as you kind of push them up and it sort of forms, and you can see someone sitting at a table, and you see one slowly moving, almost like a strobe light as you keep moving the fairy fire up, and you're getting flashes of these people in different spots, and they just seem to be moving around. Where
They're moving linearly from one spot, or is it for
Yeah,
one
like-
second someone's here and another second someone's over there?
Yeah, so you see two people in this room. You see one just sitting, and you kind of catch motions of them, almost like they're talking or gesturing. The other one who was making their bed slowly is making their way around, and you see one sort of look shocked and point towards Mogra, and you then see them like stand up and are pointing towards Mogra, and you can then see them almost like shouting out as you see someone coming where this door is, where Shale is standing. You see another one almost appear through Shale, and you get this cold shimmer, like someone just like stood on your grave. And you see another one, and they all start pointing towards Mogra.
I think Mogra definitely. She raises her hands and says, "We are not your enemies. We know there is an entity that looms over this place. We don't want to harm you. We just want to know what happened to you."
And you see them all sort of gather up together, and they're kind of looking, and they look confused. And you see one almost like mimicking pouring a drink and handing it to the one who apparently had seen you for a brief moment and is now taking a drink. And the other two seem to talk, and they're one's almost like shaking their head. And as the minute of concentration on the spell dissipates, so do their visage.
Wow.
Well, that was rather spirited.
Yeah.
Literally, yes.
Mm.
I wonder, Tara, with the book, is there any way to encourage them to write more for us? Or is there something maybe we need to look back over some of the entries here? Is there any indicator of a maleficent presence that they started to feel and see while they were here, or talk of someone or something physical that visited the island that started all of this mess?
I could
Or-
definitely try for weird notes or guess or
So as you start looking through, and you go to the most recent page, and they write down, we saw a spirit of a half-orc woman wearing many different armaments. Not sure what it means, but
Tara.
she seemed to be very apologetic.
Oh dear. Okay, so this is the most recent entry, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And
they
it's
were
being
talking
written
about
down
Morgan?
right now as it's
Yeah.
coming into play.
So Tara immediately is like, all right. She picks out her pen and writes down, "No, you're the spirit. We've been looking for you?" Question mark.
Yeah, as you write it,
And big eyes like staring at the page.
you almost see like
TBC comes to loom.
ink being spilled onto the thing, like someone jolted it up while writing, and it starts writing, and it just says, "No, you're the spirit."
Tell them to be not afraid.
Ask if they have sheep.
Sorry.
Now you hear Tara's brain clicking.
Indeed.
Okay.
Sheep are important.
Amazing.
All right.
Amazing.
We arrived by boat today with Kara. Sheep all over the island. We see no one living, but we saw your spirits for a moment. We casted a spell.
You see it right. We've been here for months. A thick fog has surrounded our island. We haven't had any contact from anyone. The sheep haven't been seen in a while. It's just us.
Mayhaps I was correct.
All right.
Maybe we should ask them then. What killed them? It's
How do they
painful
know
to
they're
ask them.
killed?
I
Well-
feel that they feel they are alive, and
Yeah.
a question posed such as that may startle them. While
Yeah.
an excellent question,
Hmm.
you may lose contact.
Maybe about when the fog first showed up.
Yes.
It's all right. You mentioned fog. When did it first show up?
2-3 months ago.
And how long have the people been missing? Is it 2-3 months?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Mystery solved.
There it is. All right. With her desperation to hang on to physical evidence of some kind, you'll see Mogra suddenly takes one of her hand axes and she'll run her thumb along the blade, and with a trickle of blood, she will just hold out her hand, just so that even though we can no longer see the spirits in the room, they can see that we bleed. We actually bleed, so we're alive.
Oh yeah, can they still see us?
Yeah. As that happens, and you can see it like drips onto the floor. They say, "I see the blood, but I do not see you."
Wow. Oh.
Mayhaps we ask if they are aware of the Guardian, as that may confirm our suspicions.
They reply, "Yes, we are aware of the Guardian.
Has
They
he
protect
been
the sheep."
seen? Has it been seen since the sheep have disappeared?
No.
Sounds like mayhaps the Guardian has done something inexplicable. Why
So,
would they bring them here? Or them there? And there's just this rapid clicking.
So this potential alternate plane, evidence of an alternate plane, whether it's a specter where they're dead, or maybe it's worlds flipped or what have you, does that new sort of revelation added with the visual of the guardian that Quill has had and the druidic knowledge, can I roll again on that thing that I rolled on earlier that didn't go so well then?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
I'll allow you to roll.
That was a straight wisdom, I think.
Yeah, a wisdom
Yeah.
check.
Okay.
Is there I could do a similar check with just kind of thinking about what the heck is going on?
Yeah, you could do an arcane or
Thank you.
that's another natural one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
the
dear.
dice just don't want you to figure it out.
I was going to ask, are you able to guide yourself as
Right.
well? I don't know.
I think I would have, if I could have, I would have had to do it first. And
Oh,
then I
dear.
don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately,
Thank
a
you.
natural one
You're
would be
being
the
very
unnatural
kind.
one. So, okay. So, with more information, you're still thinking, and it's there. You know it's there, and you're remembering, Quill, these things, but you just can't picture it together. TBC, with your arcana, and their descriptions of their environment, the lack thereof, other things. They could potentially be either in a plane of undead. They might be specters, or due to the fact that they can still almost perceive the material plane, the one that you're on, they might be on the ethereal plane.
I see.
Fascinating.
Yes, have my creator often talked about the different planes. Perhaps they are on the ethereal plane. What powers must this guardian have to well, if it is the guardian, to have moved them such? Because what I know, it takes like either a big spell or a vast amount of power to kind of shift a whole everything.
Yes, it would be a significant amount of power.
And for what reason?
That is the bigger question.
I am going to write in the book again. In the 24 hours before the fog set in, did anyone upset the sheep? Was there anything that happened that was odd outside of the fog?
There seems to be a bit of a moment of conferring. A couple of minutes pass, and it begins to write. The junior wiki claims to have seen an old woman. She gave him a bit of paper. Check under his bed. It's the one on the far right.
Oh, sure. Mogra will go over to lift the bed for you. Just to more than likely just. Oh, there it is.
TBC was
And there you see what I'm going to give you. Everyone should be able to see this now.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, there's a snippet.
Ooh.
Curious.
Can I do a check?
And it writes, this woman said she'd found this circle, scroll, and we thought nothing of it, but perhaps this has something to do with it.
Can I do an arcana check?
Yes, you may.
I will come and assist you.
Please do, because I rolled 2 ones.
Oh dear.
To be fair, TBC is just holding it out like their hands are like a little table for everyone to see.
I can do an arcana check too. I think I've got
The
proficiency.
more the merrier at this
Yeah,
point.
if you're proficient, you can do it.
Fantastic. I leave it to the rest of you. Oh dear.
Okay. So we are getting Shale's perspective on this.
Yes.
That
me
is
just
just
put my glasses back on.
that is just interesting. You want to know something? If I may indulge me one moment, folks. I would love to see what Mogra would. She has no proficiency in this. Please remember
Go
that.
on, Mogra, I believe in you.
Oh my god.
Not 20.
Okay.
Someone please clip that, please. Because that is just amazing.
All the magic people.
You suddenly see this look of recognition come over Mogra's eyes in a way that you've never seen before. Maybe her eyes go a little bit more hazel, like.
And there's
Dear-
a reason why you know it so well. And it's potentially why you specifically appeared. Perhaps due to your link to the spiritual realm, the fact that you can summon your spirits and your ancestors. And almost as you summon, parts of this circle appear as you cast. Although it's not a learned magic and has been brought to you by your ancestors, this specific shapes are very familiar to you. And that's why Mogra knows.
I'm sure there was there was definitely a shamanic person in her tribe back home, perhaps as a child, in the interest of educating her, that ancestor, that parent, or that guardian in the tribe tried to impart some knowledge to her. It's fallen away, and she's leaned heavily into physical and combative fighting. But certainly there was a shaman in the tribe that more than likely worked with similar, if not exact like this, but similar types of magics that were written down, that were scribed in dirt or sand or gravel as they were performing their workings.
Okay.
And,
Yeah. So, and Shale, you know this from your study of magics, that it's a transfiguration spell to potentially move things to different planes of existence. Why it was done, you're not sure, but yes, Mugra, that's why you have this very innate, strong reaction to seeing it. Although it's not complete, there seems to be potentially one or two pieces missing.
So she would turn back to the group and say, "This is incomplete. The shamaness of my tribe, she worked with patterns like this. I can't remember exactly. It might be it's a circle of some kind. Look here. See the curve? There's something missing from it." And turns to Terra and says, "Perhaps you can ask them, where's the rest of it?"
Yeah, I can definitely do so. Looks like some sort of transfiguration or something, potentially. And I write on the book that we found the paper, but most of it is missing.
They write back, we have the full paper. Perhaps the old lady came back and took it somewhere else. Last thing we saw, says the young wiki, that she was heading towards the old chapel.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, then it would appear that seems like the next likely place that we would need to investigate, yes? What do we think?
My apologies. I seem to have temporarily shut down. What were you saying?
Yes, it did seem a bit of sparking was going off when you're trying to look at the circle there, TBC, but
My apologies.
That's what happened with the
Mogra.
natural one. You
Yes.
totally shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
but Mogra was able to figure out what the circle was based on their experience with their ancestors. And we tried to ask the wiki in the books. They say they think the old woman came back and they might be at the chapel.
Amazing. I like this wiki asks. It seems very helpful. And
Nice one. Nice one.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
Wiki
good.
ask.
another time when I am not malfunctioning, I would love to hear of your ancestors, Mogra. I think the wind may have got something caught in my system.
Oh, the sea salt will definitely do that to you.
That seems logical, yes. I must get sea salt proofing.
So, with that, where would we like to head?
Was it at the abandoned church thingy? Sorry.
Chapel.
Yeah,
Yes.
you don't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I do just a quick last sweep of the room, just in
Of
case
course,
there's
yeah.
anything we've missed?
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
No problemo.
I'm proficient. I would like to assist. So you'll see Mogra just lifting tables, lifting a bed,
Very
lifting
much
a bookcase.
appreciated. Yes, with my 0 to strength.
Yeah, the 13 with advantage from Mogra. You kind of go up the lighthouse to just make sure everything's clear. And it's very spick and span. It's very clean. The light is on and spinning. You can see the lamp light is magical of some sorts, as well as being tended to by. You can see like soot and things from the greasing of metal, and you can see some footprints sort of moving around up here. It's been a very walked and worn place. You can see the mechanism that times the rotation of the clock. It's just basically 2 big bags of wheat that make it. It's like a clock timer, and it spins around. And you can see that is slowly ticking as its timer is going around. But other than that, it's a very simple shack that doesn't have anything else in it.
In the soot and the grime, if there's like that little chimney with some soot, I just want to take my finger, put it in the soot, and just write on the wall, "We will be back."
Okay.
And then a smiley face.
That helps.
It seems less threatening if you smile and you just
Yes.
see them, like their lips just go click, click, click. You'll smile.
Well done.
Amazing. Terrifying. With that, as you begin to leave the lighthouse and make your way to the abandoned chapel, we'll move over there now. Going back
Are
through
we
the town.
taking the book with us?
It's up to you.
Mayhaps that would be sensible to communicate. If it seems like we have a copy on our side and on theirs.
That's a brilliant idea.
Okay. So taking it with you, you lead yourself back through the town. Again, the sheep, as the night goes on, it's probably 5 o'clock now by this point. The sheep have very much settled into the houses and are resting up away from the wind. You can hear the slamming of unhinged doors and shutters as you make your way past up into the chapel itself. So, the chapel is mostly ruins at this point. Most of the entire roof has collapsed. You see a couple of pillars still holding partial sections of the roof up. And you see very clearly into the area, ragged stone, a couple of broken pews, and in the far corner you see a broken piano. What would you like to do?
Attempt a little stealthy sleuth.
Okay.
Just in case. 8.
Perfect.
Spectacular.
Strong 8.
Strong start.
I mean, let's see if Mogra is able to follow suit. Let's see. She's not very dexy. Fair. No,
Good,
fine.
Not bad.
16. All right.
Okay.
Hey,
Oh,
Carry
much better
me.
this time. Glasses fixated on my head.
We've got you one of those elastic bands that go around the back so they stay on.
Cool.
I have the cloak of elvenkind. Can I pull my hood up to have?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
So then I still check on stealth, and will you add to that, or?
Yeah, so I believe it gives you advantage, so it will
Okay.
take higher of the 2 numbers rolled.
Got it. I mean, it's probably not great either way.
11.
Okay.
So
I
18.
realize mine says sleight of hand, but my sleight of hand and stealth is the same.
Yeah, I thought as much. It's okay. Okay, so an 18. And so Mogra and Shale are pretty stealthed as you're moving through the area.
Yes.
And you can see that the pillars are holding up the roof are pretty precarious as you begin to move through.
And I think I'm tempted to go towards the left, as opposed to, well, that's low wall that's still in place there anyway. So yes, just moving down this hallway cautiously. And how lit is it here? Of course, since we're approaching late afternoon into evening, sounds like we're losing daylight, literally. Is there anything lit here at all? Or...
Nothing's lit. It's
Okay.
probably still dim light.
All right.
Most of all the windows or anything that was here has been shattered and opened. And it's any light that you've been walking with is been enough to get you through. So in here, it's a bit dimmer as you're passing through each of these pillars, but it's still enough to light. Although a perception would benefit from having either a torchlit or a light spell.
Precisely why I ask. I do believe Mogra takes a torch from her pack, strikes it, and holds that aloft to provide light for everyone else.
Okay. So yeah, as it illuminates, you get more of a understanding of the area. And you start seeing a lot of more carvings that have tried to survive the constant battering of the sea wind. And you see a lot of waves carved into the structure. And you see broken glass, and a lot of it has mostly sea imagery onto it.
As I approach the kind of like inside, oh, what? I don't know if it's still got the roof. I would like to, so out of their right arm was the weird little lighter for their firebolt. They lift their left, and the filigree on their arm just opens, revealing a bone, a couple bones, and they actually remove one, and they give it a like very methodical circle, and they draw some shapes in the air, and they use their wand of detect magic. Please.
So you detect something from the piano.
Good, I wanted to go there first anyway. That's an excuse. What kind of magic?
Same as before. It seems to be like a slight sort of enchantment
Okay.
vibe, yeah.
Okay. They will. Sorry.
No, you go.
So they'll try and carefully make their way over, try not to disturb any of the damaged stuff.
As you pass through that section, can I make you make a deck save, please?
Oh dear. And just before Mogra was about to wave the other two over, like, come. Oh dear.
That's a 2.
No.
So as you walk past this entranceway here, and you see a couple of pillars that are kind of pretty precarious. As your foot just like catches a bit of wire and it pulls as it begins to close in on you and crush you.
Oh, no.
As these big boulders start falling down.
Oh no,
You
Mogra!
try to dodge.
Mogra definitely runs over as quickly as possible.
Sure.
Is there any way that she can shield her in any way, or
Make
Was it back
a
here that I was damaged?
yeah, it's
Okay.
about
like
there.
right
So
here?
make
Yeah.
make a athletics or acrobatics check to see if you can dash and jump towards it.
Okay, acrobatics or athletics? Let's go athletics. Come
I
on now.
usually do checks, but this apparently TBC doesn't like checks.
Now
Or like,
this
haha,
this is not necessarily a it's dex based. This is not necessarily an effect that I'm seeing, is
Yes.
it?
No.
Okay.
It's just a
Got it.
trap. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ooh, okay. 16 on the die, plus 5, 21.
Okay. Cool. So as you dive, use all your strength in your leg muscles as you see this, in your reaction quickly it's to push TBC out the way, as you begin to then tuck and roll, as a couple of the bricks then land upon you and TBC. So we'll separate the damage. So that will be we'll say 5 each.
Thank you.
Right.
Ow.
Fair. All right. There we go. And just and just toss the boulder over to the side. Are you all right?
You hear in the distance.
I don't think hurting people is very funny, as Tara's like trying to clamber through a broken window. Just like,
You heard that too. So did I. We have tricksters among us, methinks. Anyway, well, what were you pursuing, however? It seemed like you had a distinct course of action going this way.
My hat is dented.
oh dear.
Maybe. And Moga tries to bend it unceremoniously back, approximately the way it was before, and it's kind of warped now.
This is clicking, and it's strained clicking as they then say, I appreciate the sentiment. And then they look towards the piano.
Okay, right.
I had detected some enchantment magic by the piano. Thank you for the save. Good job, champ. And they pat you on the shoulder.
Can I cast Fairy Fire to try and see if that's got that, if I can detect that weird laughing voice, and then also taking cues from the lighthouse room, pianos, and I don't know, maybe there's some other people here too.
Right.
Nice.
Good effort. So as you cast it out, the fairy fire. So it's 20 feet cube. So yeah, that's as you kind of move with the fairy fire over the next minute, trying to see anything, you find as it was, this wire was triggered, it almost seemed to as you're kind of investigating around, you're able to with a keen eye see that there was potentially something that almost triggered the laughter as well, either some residue magic or someone was watching from a distance, as you fire your fairy fire lands on a section, it kind of billows around like it doesn't exist, almost like someone had a face through a portal or something, and was watching as you look around, as that sort of like then dissipates with your fairy fire. But there doesn't seem to be any more people lurking in the chapel itself.
Okay.
Can I investigate this now?
Yeah, well,
I'm
investigation check.
gonna send out some
There.
dancing lights. So 4 little
Uh,
motes of pale blue-gray lights flicker out as I twist my hand into the air.
Okay, so yeah, you have a bunch of dancing lights now to give more of a light surrounding the area.
If you do that with those lights, Mogra will then step a little further out just to cast more light across the room, just
And-
scanning.
Quill can step a little further out of the light and look with dark vision and maybe see a little further into any distances from where the sources of light are.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, my thing cut out a little bit. I asked if I could do an arcana, but I didn't hear the response. My apologies.
Yeah, if you want to investigate the piano, you can. You can also do
Yeah.
an arcana check if you want to.
Might do arcana. 18.
Okay. So what you want to find out arcane wise? Just about...
Yeah, so like with the fact that the one's like 10 minutes, if it's still up, they want to locate specifically what was dinging it, and then see if they can do a check to see if they can find out the magic and
so
what it's doing.
Sure. You see that there's a key specifically on the piano that's magical.
I will do a further investigation before I bit the key.
Sure.
Can I offer guidance on
Sure.
that?
You can.
Hey,
Yay!
there it is.
I will do it anyway, because let's try and get the highest one we can. Oh no, hang on.
half of the
One,
half
two,
of the
four.
battle is remembering all what you
Yay!
have, and
You know.
Yep.
there it is.
So with
Very
that
nice.
4 on the guidance roll, that's a 19.
19. So investigating carefully, you look at the strings that the key's attached to and make sure it's all good. It doesn't seem to be trapped, luckily.
Yay.
But it does appear to be magical
Mhm.
as your then finger caresses the ivory key.
I almost press it, and then I turn to look at the party. Is
Oh,
this
Tara's already like staring over
Why?
the edge of the piano, is just nodding.
And they press the key.
And you hear like a brrrr, like a really discordant note as you look what key's being pressed in the back, and you see around the wire a bit of paper.
I take the paper. The bottom spell circle!
Yes, yes.
Right, so
Very
we've got the
good.
top bit, right?
Yes. So we got 2 of 3, it looks like.
Excellent. All right, that's good. At least it was
So-
worth it. Good.
With the 2 pieces we have, is it worthwhile to continue to do arcana checks? I have proficiency. I can see if for me it brings any new insight or information.
Yeah, I'll say do another wisdom.
Oh,
I would
wisdom,
like
sorry.
to
I did
assist to
arcana,
give
but I can-
advantage because I'm proficient.
Sure.
I did arcana instead of wisdom. Do you want me to go back and just do?
Yeah, do a wisdom for me, specifically because you're a druid.
Got it.
Okay, so with a 10, your mind, because you're proficient in arcana as well, your mind was trying to think of this from an arcane standpoint, and looking at it, and with more of the shamanistic things that Mogra was talking about, This is definitely more of like a druidic spell. And with the, we'll say with the 15 in arcane and the 10 within wisdom, this comes from a different primal magic, an older magic. This is not something that's taught in schools of wizardry. This is something that's potentially being passed down. The way that it's been formed as a spell circle is much different to how Shale was potentially taught of magic. And your mind clicks. This has something to do with older magics. It has something to do with a standing stone. As you look at the various sections, the shapes of the triangles, it sort of clicks in your head that there must be something laid out. And seeing the one that you're given, there's phases of the moon within each of the circles. That this has to be correlated with there, where the arcane is not really taken from nature. This spell circle is. And then you remember there appears to be a stone circle or standing stones on this island. If we go back to the main map, I can show you. Correct. And those moments of trying to figure it out, Quill, have just come flooding into your brain, and it finally clicks to where the next potential step is.
So Quill just sort of stands stock still, looking into the middle distance as it all comes clicking together. There's so much going on behind the eyes, but to the party, there's just nothing but silence for maybe too long. And finally, Quill's like, "Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe I didn't recognize it from the beginning." Relays with as much detail as she can in a scramble, and says, "But I know where we have to go. We have to go to the standing stones," I think is what I was intuiting from this piece here. So she delivers as much as she can in a scramble, owing though to a sense of urgency about moving on to the next scrap of the piece, because we need to understand exactly what the positioning is for everything. And I think we'll get our next answer there.
Oh, good. Oh, good. For a moment, I thought I was sure that you're not an automaton like TBC. I was about to shake you. And all right, yes.
I've seen it once before, Ash Knight. She just, whoo,
Yeah.
and she pulled right up, and I was like, "Hello, dear, hello." And then she told me this whole theory she had, and there's
Deep in thought.
Yeah.
Deep in thought. I understand better now. All right.
But as
Well,
we
yes. Then
go,
let's away.
Olga and
I would
TBC, I
have
know you
welcomed-
two got hurt. Are you okay?
I am functioning a little slowly, but well at the moment.
I can cast Healing Word, and I'm not sure if I can only do it to one person, and so I don't know if it's like a prisoner's dilemma kind of choice.
Do you want to try to pop that in the chat? Be happy to read over that for you.
Yeah, so
I
Healing
believe
Word
it's
is
one
or-
person.
one person.
Is it
but
one
you can-
person?
Right.
You can use 2 slots to heal them both at the same time.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
If you wanted to.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. All right.
Okay.
That's wonderful. That will bring me to full. That is great.
So everybody's
Thank
taken
you.
care of then now, right? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
So
for
you want
that.
to
I feel
use
better.
2 points to 2
Yes.
spell points
And
to.
so
Okay.
I don't know
Then-
how to record that on my slots remaining, though, if I've been
So
recording that.
if you just hit down, if you go over where it says 2 on that right side, you'll see a up and down arrow.
Okay.
It should mark it down for you.
Okay.
Or
For
if you need a hand, I can always do it for you.
Yeah, if you want to just double check.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. TBC is the spell washes over them. You just see their core again. That see-through spinal bit just glow this teal light. Even though it's quite a cold color, it feels nice and warm and appreciative.
So, what does Quill's magic healing look like? And what magical word do you say for his healing word, after all?
Oh yes. Healing word is for Quill is just looking at each of them and very reassuringly telling them to breathe. And with that word, whether they breathe or not, that's what it does. But it washes over like a warm honey hug of refreshment and motivation, hope, faith, and strength all come flooding back for those who have those sort of somatic responses to the sensation. For those who may not have that particular biological response, it would just maybe present itself as all the kinks in the gears sort of fixing themselves, all of the little clockwork pieces, their timing is back in alignment, and there must, at least for that kind of mechanism, be a sense of relief at moving smoothly again.
I
Very good.
feel fully operational. Thank you, Quill.
Yes,
Sure.
thank you. Much better. Much better.
And I would gladly accept you into my automaton world, should you so wish.
Oh, thank you so much. I might wish one time upon a day.
I am made up
Right.
of some people too. You can be made up of some of me.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Something to unpack.
that's a that is a lot to unpack there. But in the meantime, yes, with urgency. I
Walking
I
on.
think we should away.
So, leaving the chapel area, healed, but now, as you begin to leave, you see some of the structures lean, some even more crumble as you walk away, as the wind blows potentially other traps that were left over. Heading down the mountain or the small hill, up there you see only but one standing stone left of this section. As you begin walking, there's no walked path on this section, and it's a bit of a harder climb up the side of the hill. It leaves you a bit muddied and a bit tired as you crest up over the hill itself, but it leads you to the standing stones.
Oh. Oh, it's almost.
Oh dear. Oh, there's
Something
something
happening.
unfortunate towards the middle, I think. Wow.
Okay, so take everyone up as you came from the north here.
Now, Mogra's tall, but is it to my understanding these standing stones are quite tall, like probably
Very.
double her height, if not
Yes.
triple? Okay.
They're very big,
Got you.
50 to 60 foot, and they would, and you can see some of them have been pushed over, and this one is just standing pretty tall above this. However, as you crest up over, you do immediately see, oddly, a skeleton, and the ground is browned around them,
Hmm.
which seems odd for a skeleton.
I think just walking just to the very edge, not going inside too far. I think Mogra would probably reach and touch the brownish sort of earth, kind of smelling it, rolling it between her fingers. Is it age-old blood, perhaps, like she kind of thinks it might be? Is there any
Yeah.
check I can do to that effect?
Yeah, you can do a either medicine or a nature check.
Let's see. We'll go with
Can I cast
medicine.
guidance to help out?
You may.
Yay! Thank you. So, yeah, let's roll that d4. I'll roll the d4 first. Why not? Let's go here. And let's see what we get. All right. So there's a 3 there. And for the, that was nature or medicine? Medicine. Here we go. All
Okay.
right. Oh, thank goodness for that. So that's total of 16. Very
Yeah,
good.
Putting your hand in the dirt. It's not a healthy dirt. You can feel that it's definitely got bone residue. It's very decaying, almost like it's been salted. It doesn't feel good.
Be careful of the ground here.
On that
This is-
note, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, no, just be careful of the ground here. This ground has been soaked with blood and bone. No telling whether or not that was the bone and blood of innocence or not. But that's the individual certainly doesn't look very happy now, does it?
Quill very pointedly takes out a potion of giant strength to drink it. If I can go ahead and do that.
You may, if you want to.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome.
I don't know what's going on here, but I should probably get ready for that.
Okay.
So do I go ahead and change my strength to, it's just the uncommon hill giant, so I think it's 21.
Yeah.
Do I change my strength on my sheet to 21?
Yes, we can just do that, and then just keep a note of what your old strength was as well.
We don't have to.
Could we just make the change permanent?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Okay. I'm gonna write it down right here.
So this is for an hour, which is a good amount of time.
Yeah, I think that'll, I think it'll last through the big bad, maybe.
It's definitely nasty tasting. It's
Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Tara's going to put a gentle hand on Morgra, and we're going to cast protection from good and evil upon you. So she just kind of puts her little hand against yours, their book awkwardly flipped open in her arms, like, I'm going to make sure you're safe because you get very up and close and I worry about you. But it's going to be okay. We're going to handle this, and you got it.
Thank you. And
just like
and then what?
a shimmering
Yeah.
light comes from her, envelops yours before it starts trickling all over your body, and it's different from the healing spell in that there's a slight chill to it, but it's almost like how when you smell lemon, it wakes you up a little bit, it invigorates you, and makes you feel good.
And that protection from good and evil, is that I forget, my apologies, is that temporary hit points, or what is that exactly?
So I threw it in
that-
chat there. So up for
Okay.
10 minutes. For any of the types of creatures that are in there, you get several benefits. They get disadvantage on attacks against you.
That's so good.
So if we end up in combat,
Yes. And also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed.
Ah.
That's yes. Wow. Thank you.
all these ghosty things give me the heebie-jeebies. So
Well,
This is
Agreed.
a seasoned player here.
Agree. It is most unnatural. I'm not used to seeing.
do what you can to protect your
That's
prepared.
it.
Yes,
I'm not
right.
used to seeing spirits act in this way. They are truly tormented. My people are familiar with a bond with those who have passed beyond the veil, those who have come before us and who have passed before us. So it's very strange, this place.
While the people are like prepping, kind of, just in
Mhm.
case, can TBC just, they're doing it kind of slowly with their finger by their side. They're just tracing this little ward every, say, minute or so, because it lasts for a round. And they're just consistently casting Blade Ward on themselves.
Okay.
And they're just like, no.
So, with that, what would you like to do? We seem to have a toppled standing stones, an odd skeleton figure in the middle. The ground is definitely not nice. We've prepped. Where would you like to go?
Can I do one more prep thing?
Of course.
Can I use an action to expend wild shape and cast Find Familiar for Wild Companion?
Yeah.
And then I think I'll have Wild Companion for an hour and a half.
Okay.
It could, number of hours equal to half the druid level, so an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Or
So
no, rounding down, so maybe an hour. I think it rounds down to.
what animal would you like?
Oh, I mean, I'll take suggestions, but
I would
Fine.
think a sheep or a goat would be a little on the nose. But would definitely welcome some of your fiercer friends.
right, like a wolf in a sheep's island situation might be
Yes.
cute.
And there's the name of the episode, friends.
Wolves
on
on
Sheep's
Sheep's
Island. There it is. Wow.
So you can
Yeah.
get anything. It's not too big. Familiars are kind of just
Okay,
like
right.
little friends. So it can be like a bat, cat, crab, a frog, a toad, a lizard, an octopus, owl, snake.
Well, what
ravens.
about a herding dog? Is that too big? Is that like, like a little
No, we can do a
collie?
dog. Yeah.
Like a herding kind of thing? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, almost like a border collie or
Yeah. Australian
yes.
Shepherd. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm gonna
really smart dogs that need work to do.
Mm.
So this can be a celestial fae or fiend type of dog. I'd say potentially fiend because you're fae because you're a druid. So it might
Right.
have like extra weird stuff about them. Is there anything different about this dog?
Oh.
Yeah. So it changes its color quite like the fairy fire coloration that we saw Quill use earlier. When it's in movement, it doesn't necessarily move in that linear sense. It will move maybe a few like steps and then materialize into its next space. So it seems to sort of like be like smoke that forms in its likeness for a few moments and then dissipates again before it forms a few steps down. I don't know if anything else might be granted to me about the quality of its ferocity or then I would say that that's a key part of how it moves, is that it'll like flatten itself out into like a thin spirit stream of matter before it materializes into its animal form again.
Okay.
It's giving me like if you've seen the animated Sinbad movie, it's giving me like Eris from that as she like
Ooh.
very cool. I love that.
Indeed. Quill, that's quite a fierce companion you have there. Now that's really good. Matter of fact, Quill, you're looking a bit more beefy at the moment. But shake hands for me for a moment, and I think she'll give you the warrior's forearm clasp and just yes,
right.
You definitely gotten stronger. That's good. All right. It's almost you see almost like a half relief come over Mogra's face because if you haven't already seen, she's quite protective
Yeah.
of her friends, and so it gives her hope that one of them
Yeah.
is muscling up right now. That's
yeah,
great.
I mean, you've been working on your diplomacy skills, and I've been working on just trying to carry more of the heavyweight, whenever we're on some of these encounters. And I mean, I couldn't bulk up the usual natural way, but I got some juice, juiced up and ready to go.
Well, we'll help you work on it otherwise, but
I did
well
always say
done.
protein was
Well
good
done.
for this.
Yes.
Quill.
Well done. All right. Well, I think it's well worth it. Perhaps, Tara, are you still able to communicate with our friends through the book? Are they saying anything?
I can try, and I pull out the Wiki's book.
Oh, and she'll shield you if it's still rain is still coming down. She'll take her cloak and shield you and the book to keep it dry.
Yeah. They're mostly writing to themselves. Like, that was a weird interaction. Like,
I kind of circle that and be like, for us too.
but yeah, they're mostly just talking about their general duties and stuff as well. And they say, is there anything else we can help with?
Oh, well, at the Standing Stone, paper related to it. Should I and I look to everyone else.
Maybe we have let them know we have 2/3 of a circle, a magical circle. Standing stones? Question mark?
Yeah. And I kind of try and do a doodle of what the circle that we have put together so far looks like.
They reply, are all 3 still standing?
That would be a no, wouldn't it?
No, just the one.
And they'll write back, well, that's different. 3 are standing in our realm.
Interesting. Mogra looks over at Quill and says, perhaps you and I can team up to help write these. Perhaps that's what we might need to do here. So, well, come on, let's try. And Mogra will make her way over to whatever first one is closest.
Yeah, go for it.
To start trying to lift.
So we'll say both you together, one helping the other. Whoever's got the highest can roll a strength check with guidance if you so wish it as well.
Well, let's see. My strength is a +3. How about yourself?
My strength is a +5, I think it is.
Hey, all right. So let's go with you, please. Yeah.
And it's just the straight strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can use your guidance as well.
And I can use guidance.
Yeah.
So how do I roll the guidance?
So just on the left side, you'll see a D20, a little isodecahedron shape. And then you can just hit the D4. So altogether is a 22. So with you both on this section, you begin to lift these huge columns up over and write them up. As you finally get the whole thing up, you pulling them together and pushing, and these are big, huge atlas stones, and just the vision of it's almost like a Herculean task as one's pushing up and the other one's grabbing and lifting up onto the top as you slide back down, and the other one climbs and pushes, and the other one grabs and lifts up and situates them. Quill, you recognize the writing as druidic all over the stones. As you begin to read, as you're lifting and pushing, it reads, ensure the stones are together to enter a layer below.
Hmm.
Wow.
And it mostly talks about a layer below and drawing the correct circle or having the circle connected.
Okay, so that's happening. That's what that says. It looks
And
like
that's all in Druidic, you said, correct, DM?
Yes.
right.
Okay. Got it.
Uh,
Yeah,
so,
I think Mogra is not paying attention to any of that. She doesn't have her a giant strength potion, so she's just doing correct body mechanics where she can like. All right, the back. All right.
Meanwhile, my Quill has like no good form whatsoever, just totally relying on being juiced up. Would put any physical therapist through the sweats watching, not lifting with the knees at all. Yeah.
Done.
Lock the arms, lift with the back.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So if this indicates, if what we see indicates that moving on to that third one, like we still have one more to put together before we've reconstructed the circle, then Quill would just be like, yeah, it looks like we're on the right track, but we might want to be mindful on when we've completed this circle. I don't think it'll just magically start making things happen. There's probably something to do with the moon and the timing of it. But let's, I guess, just stay on the P's and Q's as we move to the next one to put it up.
Okay. And we'll roll another strength check to see
Okay.
how.
Okay.
For some flavor in the background while everything's being watched. You can just hear this faint
Ooh.
Herculean heroic music coming from TBC. It's almost like a music box going on. They were lifting stuff. It's just like
wow, plus a
I
4 on
can
the
go the
guidance.
distance.
So
yeah,
we're
I am the
just- we're
tiger.
just cleaning up
Wow.
shop over here on
Yeah.
these really
God.
freaking heavy stones that were probably a mystical wonder, and we're just like Legos, just popping them back together.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
While that's going on, could Shell make a perception check for me?
Oh, Shell most certainly can.
Can I offer guidance on that one?
I'll say because you're busy lifting.
Yeah, I am.
and-
I'm just trying now.
I'm okay though. Shell's got this.
Oh,
I'm
no.
being very studious right
Mhm.
now.
Indeed.
As we're watching this like heavy rain and wind battering against these two strong women lifting these massive stones. Up,
Beautiful, beautiful.
you see Shell around the femur of the skeleton, another bit of paper. It seems to be tied around them.
There's a paper there.
Like right in the middle, in the
Right
bone.
in the middle. Yeah, in the bone.
Oh.
I will go with you, Shale.
Yes, let's be a team.
So
We're team check bones. They're team raise rock. We're good.
Yeah. I may be able to add improvements to myself. Is this skeleton like viable?
Yeah. So you see that there's blood around it, and these bones seem to be very fresh, almost like this person has just been almost evaporated.
So can my familiar help at all in any of this, or be
Yeah,
available, or if nothing, the comic relief of trying to get one of these bones as a spiritual dog? But would it be able to investigate or sniff something out or alert to something dangerous to the pair coming along?
Yeah, I can. It can roll perception. It has a better nose and hearing perception, so it can listen out.
Awesome.
I'll just roll a couple of d20s here and see what it rolls. I'll get a +2. Oops, no, not that way. 15 and 17. So yeah, you can see it sniffing around and keeping its ears out, and is sniffing around all the blood and everything. but doesn't seem so far to be alerted by anything improper.
Awesome.
As
delightful.
Shale, you are able to unfurl the note, and you find a last piece.
We got
And
it.
there it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, all right. That's great. What do our friends say about it? Calling over Mogric, holding over her shoulder while just pushing that last stone into place.
Right.
Quill just locked one-handed. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I see TBC is computing right now. Oh, okay, let me go through my notes. What do we all say right now? Okay. And I kind of compare what's said, and then I think about my own, what I know of any arcane circles based around the type of magic that exists.
Yeah.
Very-
Make an arcane check.
I'm still busy.
I'm sorry. I seem to have short-circuited. I can help. I would like to persist. I'm so sorry. I died again.
That's okay.
No worries.
I'll say with advantage, with you helping. You rolled 20. That's fine. So the thing about the magic spell, it's almost scroll that you have, is that it's in 3 pieces. And potentially it needs to be put back together to get a proper form. It needs to be mended magically, potentially, because this is magical paper. So the fact that it's even been torn is almost illogical. So,
I can probably do that.
That's good. I'm not that good at puzzles, to be honest. Apologies, but
I don't think I've got anything.
I can mend. Have mending.
Put the pieces where we think it works, and you can bend. And yeah, let's do this.
So
it's,
as you-
sorry.
and you go.
I was going to describe it, if that's possible. As Shale's holding the pieces up is where we think it is. They just lift one of their little fingers, and their hat just curves down, and then a small slit opens up just where their eyes are, and they go, "Please shield your eyes." And like a magic welding torch, they just weld it back together.
That's bright. Wow. Oh, right. Okay.
So Liz,
Amazing.
would you like to put the...
Yes, with Shale's guidance. Thank you.
You should be able to move them now.
I can. I feel like...
Wow. Oh,
maybe I'm
okay.
wrong. Hang on, the boxes are really big.
That's okay.
There we go.
That's
All
not
right.
correct.
Let's see.
Does that...
Yeah, it looks like you're on the right track.
And then maybe like...
And then
Oh, this
maybe
is the fun
switching.
bit.
Wait, no, I'm confused.
I feel like you were right the first time. I don't know.
If you
I
need to go back,
probably
you can Control Z if you need to.
Oh, can I?
I believe so, yeah.
Thank you, Control Z gods.
I can't. It don't work.
I don't. Let's see. I wonder if I can do it.
Oh. Look at that.
Was it like... Hang on. Oh, God. The move boxes are so big.
If you got a mouse?
I've got a mouse. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Oh, I see. Sorry. Liz.
Sorry. I was really aggressive. I'm an aggressive person.
That's
Yeah,
right,
like, traffic goes
TBC.
there.
You're channeling your rage like we practiced. That's good. All right. That's
I
great.
am learning
Spot on.
from everybody. Yeah, I can feel like that bit goes there, and then this bit goes.
Indeed.
But
Shaping up there. Mm-hmm.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
The more
So-
accurate things, TBC.
Hey.
As you put the pieces together and this big light welds them together, even the bits that are missing in the paper begin to apparate and change as the strong crew lift everything up and begin to finish it up. Everything all at once begins to glow. All the writing on the druidic standing stones as that comes into place, as you both standing in the middle with this now complete spell circle. Everything darkens into a fog, and everyone is now almost like in an ethereal plane, as then you're torn back out and find yourself in a funny little cave.
Oh.
Okay.
What? Oh.
I'm just gonna
This
put it on
is
the
I
Woods
had a panic that like Margaret wasn't there for a second. I was like,
No, I'm here. I'm here. Yep, we're all here. All accounted for. All right. Yes.
And the dog is here too.
yay!
Oh, yay!
Puppers. Yes.
Does your little Fae baby have a name?
Fetch. Yeah.
Hello, Fletch Fest. I think you
Yeah.
are cute.
Oh.
So, as you now find yourself within a cave, your strength still billowing, your blade ward still taking over, with as well as your the protection from good and evil still going strong.
I'm
You
still
find
business
yourself
in
in
my
a
blade
very
war.
yes. You find yourself in an odd cave, and you hear the maniacal cackling of an old woman. Ow. They'll get it soon enough. There's enough bones. I will get them. They can't figure it out. Stupid fools. And you hear like the almost like grinding of bones in liquid coming from the other room.
I hope she does not take my bones.
I kind of
Oh.
I step
Ooh.
back and saddle up really tiny beside Mogra.
You can feel like there's a tremor coming from her. She's about to just lash out, but she knows they need to maintain the element of surprise. So it's just a thrumming almost if you're standing close enough to her. And I think she without speaking, Mogra will point in the direction of the cackle and just like this and proceed forward stealthily as much as stealth can provide. Shall I roll for stealth,
Yep.
DM? Okay.
Yes, roll stealth. Please.
Time for
roll well,
slippers.
please.
Oh!
Sorry.
Yes. Nice. Nicely done. All right.
Oh,
Well
Save
done.
names.
Well done. All right. There we go.
And
What do we
have
got
fun.
next?
Good rolls, friends. Good
Hey, there it
Nicely.
is. Nice.
One more stealth roll from.
Can I pull the hood of my cloak again before
Yes,
I do
of course. So with his advantage. 14. Okay.
Nice.
Overall, pretty successful. As you begin stealthily, for once of this whole session, begin to move forward. You see, this is a dingy cave. It smells like mold and rot. There's a thickness to the air. There's definitely a stillness as your feet move through the almost soft mushroom-like ground that you walk on. And as you begin to approach around the corner, you see this horrid-looking hag with these purple, almost drooping, melting face, this big pluming hair, these ragged clothes, and in a cauldron you see swirling bones of potentially the unfortunate people that came to save the wikis. As you stealthily approach, she doesn't seem to notice you at all. So if you wish to gain a
Is she like
surprise,
down this
you may.
corner?
She is over here. Sorry, yes, you will have limited
I will, because
vision.
I cannot see.
Sure.
I'll give you
I
some-
think, well, if we are taking a surprise round, I think this is the time when Mogra comes out swinging, because this is obviously someone. I mean, you're mixing blood and bone in a cauldron. I mean, this is most obviously the source of what's going on here. So she'll rush out and say, "What have you done?" and take a swipe right at her.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's go.
So we'll do the surprise round and then we'll roll initiative.
If also if that's how you feel, just don't look too closely at TBC. Just don't worry about
Right.
it. It's fine.
Right.
So, Mogra,
so is if I'm allowed to have that bonus action to rage?
Yep.
Yes, then we are raging and we are swinging. Let's go. Right here. And swing.
Oh,
23
All
hit.
right, 23. Let's go with the damage here. Two-handed, of course. So that's a +2 for the raging. Total of 10. Okay.
First hit. And as you see her swirling, as you almost like apparate out of the darkness, swinging, she jumps back as you clip her in the hand, and it bleeds this black ick down her arm, and she screeches, "How did you get in here? Fools!"
I think story-wise, I'm glad you said something, DM. I think Mogra would be disoriented by the sight of black blood, which is quite unnatural. She would actually try to leap back out of the way. She still had a fair amount of movement. Her full movement is 30 feet. So I think she'd take steps back right here. And if there's an attack of opportunity, that's fine.
Yeah, there would be an attack as she would,
Mm-hmm.
as you swing out, you see this black blood starts coating the carpets below, as she would swing out to you with her claws. 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. 15 slashing damage.
Okay.
As this huge strike hits right into your side, into the rib cage, and it hurts a lot.
Indeed.
is that hard? 'Cause she's
Question.
raging.
Yes.
Does my protection from
great.
evil or good do anything for her?
Let's have a look.
Oh, right.
She is a fiend, so you would actually gain creatures of the types of disadvantage. Yes, so it's disadvantage, so it would be a 10. So that would not hit you.
Interesting.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Interesting. No hit. Love
Yes.
it. Thank
From around the little corner, you
Yes.
see Tara just concentrating very, very hard. It's like,
No.
Yeah, so as she thinks, she looks at her hand expecting blood on it. She sees almost like the sparkling glow of a protection spell on her hand as she looks towards Shale. Devious sorceress.
wizard, actually.
Corrected her. Oh man, I love that.
Actually, I'm a wizard. So, Shale, would you like to go next?
Yes. Following my dear friend Mogra, I think we definitely need to come in with this with a bang, and I'm going to focus the spell Shatter onto this hag. And
Oh,
being an
my
evocation wizard, Mogra will feel no effect as I can sculpt my spell around her.
This is very good.
throw that. In
About to get
there.
very loud.
It is.
Okay.
TBC just goes clunk.
Okay, so she has some magical resistance and has advantage on saving throws.
All right.
So it's a
Gross.
13 save.
Yes.
And it's a con save.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a natural 1 and a 6. So she fails. Taking a massive 18 damage.
Sorry,
See-
DM. We don't delight in your defeat, only your characters. So sorry. So sorry. But thank you for rolling badly. Thank you.
So you see as Tara rolls off from them, actually, just a flash across her glasses, and it almost looks like there's a crack that goes through them, but not just like a magical one.
Mhm.
And it slings out, and you hear the shattering ring bang in that sphere around the hag.
I love that. Is it localized or is it around her?
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, I just want to see the spell description. Sorry.
Yeah, it is like a circle, like a sphere. So
Okay.
anything around her as well, like maybe the pot might get damaged.
Yeah. So there you see a couple of pots around. You see the big cauldron, and as a shatter, and it's very loud. It echoes out all over the cavern and just bounces around the side. So it's a bit of a flash bang as your hearing goes. It goes "Pew!" as this shatter happens, as a big crack in the cauldron happens, as the slaw of bone and materia just start falling all over the place. You see like pairs of glasses and various viscous parts of clothing still remaining on these bodies begin to spew out all over the floor. Are you happy where you are? Do you want to move?
Oh, how about we circle around, just a nice little hidden spot? Yes.
Okay. With that, we will go to TBC. What would you like to do for your surprise round?
So for my surprise round, along TBC's grand hat, there is actually like these stars that seem to be there but not be there as they twinkle and shine, and they just reach up and pluck one off, and they just start to whir, like their whole arm just goes and goes and goes and goes, and they whip it out towards the hag and use Tasha's mind whip. So can you
Okay.
please make an intelligence saving throw?
Interesting. Intelligence saving throw. So again, I have advantage on this. And it's a 6 and a 10.
Okay, so okay, sorry. So you take 3d6, which is 10 total of psychic damage. The stars like wrap around her head and just like fade and pierce into her skull, and she cannot take a reaction until the end of her next turn, and upon its next turn it must choose whether it gets a move, an action, or a bonus, and can only do one.
Wow. Okay.
Very nice.
Wow.
So does
Pretty
that work?
significant.
We're coming in hot.
Yeah,
coming
this
in
is
hard,
thick.
coming in hard. And
Love
then
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
That's it. I'm
You're happy where
just
you are.
gonna chill here. Did my blade ward go off before this round? Because I was doing it.
Yeah, I would say
consistently.
because you're keeping it going. So
Thank you. Just so I can make a note of that myself. That's it. I'm done. Good.
nice. Okay.
Well done.
Big one. So at the last one, we have Quill. What would you like to do?
So Quill with her familiar can
Mhm.
do a flanking attack on the old lady.
So you'd have to be on either side of her.
Okay.
So you'd have to either stand adjacent in a 5-foot section. So
sorry,
you
I'm
can-
trying to get my map on here correctly.
It's okay.
Okay, so I would have to move over.
yeah, you'd have to move either here and then the dog here. So it has to be.
And do I have something for the dog as a?
Yeah, I have something here for you.
Okay.
I can control the dog for you.
Okay, great. So I'd like to try and make that the first situation I pull out here.
Okay.
Am I then doing just a straight strength check, or is it an athletics?
So let's have a look at your sheet. If you want to physically hit her, you have a couple of options. You've got your scimitar that you can roll to hit with, and you would roll your scimitar. I think it's a dex weapon, but let's have a look. But who cares? We'll make it a strength weapon.
Yeah, thanks,
Very kind of you, DM.
Because you're not being, flourishing with it. You're grabbing two hands.
Yeah.
And
It's really like this is hack and slash mode. Like we're fighting real dirty with the tricks.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
cool.
and your dog apparates next
And
to
my
her.
little dog too. Right. So I'll just click.
So you get advantage.
So out with the elegant, all natural kind of druidic vibe. Now it's like again, we're just fighting dirty to get this job done. So Quill is in there like a heavy, ready to start swinging. And let's see.
Ooh, nice.
And
Yes.
Quill's
Okay.
just living like a barbarian over here.
Yeah.
You see a single tear come out of Mogra's eyes.
So if you just
Proud.
hit the scimitar button in chat, and that will roll your damage for you.
Okay.
So if you hit the button in the actual chat, yeah, there you go.
Oh, got it.
There it is.
10. Good hit.
Yay.
What does it look like when you hit into her?
So it's, again, there's no flourish to it. It is just a, the arc and wrist strength of a well-practiced scimitar slinger, and looking for, that like straight across the body kind of slash. Not necessarily any art to it, not necessarily the brute force of it, but just good motion and depth of swing.
Yeah. So as you come down with a mighty blow using all your hill giant strength, you strike her right into the shoulder as she almost buckles to one knee. As she buckles to the knee, your little sheepdog then bites into her from behind with advantage. Oh, that's just damage. I should roll attack first. It's +3. If I hit, I'll just do that for the damage. So it is +3 to hit.
Rolling it into existence. Rolling it into
20.
existence.
Yeah.
Hey.
So a 20 for
nice.
the dog as with advantage, as it bites onto her backside and pulls at her cloak, dealing 7 damage.
Ooh.
She is
Good round.
getting pretty hurt now. I
Mm.
think it's just very cool.
Well done.
I
I
haven't
feel
done
like
anything cool yet.
Yeah, anything else? Wow.
Does anybody need healing word? Is the only thing I have left to offer, I think, in a round, but nobody's taken damage. So
Yeah, I think
Unfortunately,
we're good for
no
now.
one has taken damage.
Oh no. Oh, you'll get us soon, yeah.
We'll
I'm
get there.
sure. It'll be when we're getting back on the boat and one of us slips off the
Oh.
dock. Or something.
That's how it dies, is we
It'll
finish
be
it and
that
we drown.
ridiculous, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
A giant tidal wave comes and just takes you all away.
Here lies
Um,
poor Mogra. We don't have a body because it was washed out to sea.
So
So
with
sorry.
with the surprise round over, we'll roll initiative now.
Great.
Oh,
Nice.
19.
Yes.
Yes.
18.
It's going. It's going.
Make sure
Let's
that
see.
Arcane
What do we
squad
get
over
this
here, just like,
time?
it's an 18.
All right. Not bad. All right.
Wow. Okay.
Very, very good.
I thought I rolled okay, but never mind. So as she's just getting piled on with these big strikes and massive hits, TBC, it's your turn again.
Yes. Okay. So, let's keep going. I mean, I don't like her. She weirds me out as an automaton made of people. So I would like to cast Magic Missile.
Go for it.
I've never got to cast this in D&D before, and I'm excited.
The spell that never misses. Oh, don't you love it?
I love it. I will probably just do level 1 though. I think.
Okay.
Feeling a level 1 cast. I don't know if it did it pop. Oh, it
Yeah,
did.
it does.
Yep.
It does one.
Well, it's a
and one.
4.
So
So-
you do. How many did you do? 3? Is it?
3, I believe, at that
Oh.
level. I will just double check. I will
Yeah,
put my little
3
doodad
glowing
in.
darts.
Yeah.
Okay. So just hit the spell another 2 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it.
Eh, eh.
4. Okay.
Oh.
That's a big one.
Good
So
amount of
8.
damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Very nice. Very
Yes.
nice.
So 8.
Again, the stars from the hat. 3 of them just kind of like spark. It's very blinding, and it like is from their eyes as well, and they just shoot straight off and just poof, poof, poof,
Nice.
damage. And then I'm gonna go over here, out of my line of sight. I'm just gonna go hide over here.
Oh, hello, dearie. Looks like you did a good job.
Yes, I do not wish to be further hindered. She looks terrifying.
She looks very mean. I'm sure she could use a good tea.
Maybe
Uh,
that is what she is making.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear.
I will boil you until you're nothing. That's Margaret.
Oh, maybe bone soup, maybe.
Maybe.
Perhaps,
Mrs.
yes. Not today, you won't. She'll step up.
We just
With the
interrupted this
sword.
lady's dinner, and we're just like,
Oh,
F you.
you know, it's
It
dinner.
was actually
and
just one of the
then-
sheep.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh, here we go. Longsword one more time. Let's see how we do. And
22.
that's 22 to hit. Very
Okay.
good. Two-handed this time gives us 11. So
Yes.
plus 2, 13 total.
Oh, big hits.
Is she not in position for flanking, or is it too far off? Out of
It's
interest.
too far off.
Okay.
And you need to
Matter of
be-
fact, this circle here is that
The dog.
our doggo friend?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. All right.
She was flanking with that.
Got it.
No worries.
Okay, so with a big strike, as she's being blown up with magic missiles as they strike, as through the smoke of the magic missiles, Mogra comes in with a big strike into the stomach, kind of piercing out her back, and she just kind of looks at you, and she seems to like be whispering these incantations in like an odd druidic language, even Quill doesn't even understand.
Ooh.
And she's looking you like dead in the eye, Mogra.
Oh no.
Looking pretty nasty.
Oh. Snarls back. Yes, that's the end of my turn for now.
Perfect. Shale.
All right. I scuttle along behind this rock. And as I go, I pull out a wand, and all through the embroidery on it is all kind of spider webs. And as I come around, I focus and I flick it, and I send out a charge of the spell web,
Okay.
which is a. I'm reading the item. I think it is. Oh, got it. Read the item and then read the spell. Ooh. Web spell. Difficult terrain. Creature can be restrained by the webs, can use an action to make a strength check against the spell DC for the wand is 15. What's the size of my whip?
6 feet range, a point of your choice within range. So it can
20
just be on
foot
her.
cube. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's 20-foot cube, I would not like to hurt my friends in there. So somewhere around that region.
That's fine. Yeah, we can do that. So as the web shoots out of your wand and begins to coat her, and she begins to wriggle and try to move and be stuck. Is the web anything weird or interesting, or is it just a good old spider web?
Yeah, so Tara's very into, because of her alchemy research and such, for the initial release of it, the web almost takes like geometric forms and alchemical equations to build into the structure of the webbing, just kind of these numbers and symbols coming into it as it spreads across the cave walls and floors and across the hag. The slight blue shimmer, seems to be the common theme for Tara.
Nice. Like it. So she then gets coated in this, and she can't really move all that well. She's being destroyed. I like it a lot. So with that, you want to move anywhere else, or are you happy where you are?
Oh, well, I'm just a wee lass, and I can only move so far and around. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, I got 25. There we go.
Perfect. My turn, finally.
But remember, you can
What's
only
left
choose
of ya?
one, either an action, a bonus action, or movement.
And they are restrained.
And they are restrained. Perfect. Don't worry, I have something up my sleeve.
Oh,
I'm very
always. No doubt. No
Yes,
doubt.
I'm just double checking.
Where the legendary actions come into play.
Right? I'm just waiting for those words. Yes.
So she looks at her desperate situation and looks around, and you can see her as she's looking at Mogra. We kind of get a vision into her view, and she sees that the shatter spell may have done some integral damage to the cavern that we are in. She looks up and sees a couple of cracks falling down, and she says, well, if I'm going down, you're coming with me. And she polymorphs, and she begins to transform into a giant, huge hag, and begins to break through the top of the ceiling as she begins to transform and into this huge, still in her same form, but 20 foot as she breaks through the top of the cavern, as the cavern begins to fall around. As the cavern begins to collapse, Shale, Quill, TBC, Mogra, I need everyone to make a dexterity save, please.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Let's see.
Oh, no, no.
Oh, no.
No, no, no.
Oh. Is
Cool.
this where we die? is this what's happening? Oh no. Where are we?
I just look
Dexterity
up and
saving
like,
throw,
oh,
there it is.
where's the guardian now?
No.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I think for anyone else that is I guess it follows suit with our teamwork thus far. So I think Mogra would instinctively shield TBC, who just recently already got damaged, and also we companion as well, to make sure whatever they're taking, if it can be shared to Mogra,
Sure.
she would readily take that damage.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Can
So-
Quill's familiar try and help reduce damage to Quill by any means?
Yes. So we'll get to all the damage.
Okay.
And
Sure
we'll
will.
work this out. So as everything begins to fall, TBC and Shale, you're next to this big pillar. It just begins to shift and rocks begin to fall onto you. Mogra and Quill, you do succeed. Mogra, with your quick reactions, you begin to move as you see TBC about to be crushed under a weight. You're able to grab them and move. You start seeing the ceiling collapse. You see now the standing stones above you as they are moving and shifting and wobbling. As Quill, you begin to move over and head towards Shale to potentially help them. As you begin to move up, can I get another round of dex checks from everyone?
Mhm.
All right. All right.
Oh,
I can
no, I'm
pray for
freaking
another
out,
nat
Sarah.
20, but I'm sure the system won't be that forgiving. Let's
Being
see.
squished is my worst nightmare. Oh no.
Oh, not at
Oh.
all. Not at all. There it is. Only a 3
Okay.
from Mogra.
So as Quill, you're running over, you help them up slightly. You hit, another rock hits you in the back. You see people begin to start moving up and out of this bit. There's a lot of commotion. There's a lot of everything moving. Very quick is the whole place. You see the hag being covered in these rocks and almost falling down to the side as everyone moves up onto the next platform. You see Mogra. You're looking around to make sure everyone's here under your own your guidance. Quill's here. Great. TBC. They look a bit rocked, but are still okay. But you do not see Shale. You see their cloak hanging out of a couple of rocks.
Oh no, no, Shell! And would rush over to try and pull them out of that pile if it's
Okay.
possible.
Can the familiar also like help to dig?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll say a very hard, very quick strength check. I'll say with help from the dog as well as you raging at this point as well. So I'll say I'll give you
Alright.
one chance to save Shale.
Can guidance
No
help at all
pressure.
too?
Guidance
No.
can help.
Okay.
Okay.
So as you
great.
shout down encouraging words,
Yeah, you can do it.
I need a
I'll
strength
gladly.
strength.
Only a
Okay,
1
well,
on the
just a 1?
guidance, but
Sorry.
that's all right. This
With
is
advantage.
straight strength or strength saving throw.
Whatever's higher for you. I think it would be the
It's the saving throw, actually.
The saving throw, yeah.
Yes. So,
me
thank
get
you,
applied.
DM. I will gladly roll that.
okay.
There we go. All right. So, dirty
So-
20.
The 1 just gave you enough. As you just the dog starts pulling out the small little rubble as you grab their cloak, and you just see Shale covered in dust and blood dripping as you start pulling. As you start pulling, the whole integrity of the place comes down as you now all start jumping and running out, up and over and out. Some of you looking pretty worse for wear, and especially TBC, your hat's all dinged with lots of things. Shale,
Shale would be in my arms, definitely cradle style, just holding her close, protecting her, rushing out. Yes.
and as you breach the top of the surface, the standing stones begin to fall and collapse in on themselves, and everything settles as the rain begins to cast over. And I think with the scene of it begins to pan out of our companions looking over this hole. We see off into the distance 3 wikis at the top of a lighthouse, looking out with binoculars, seeing what the commotion is. And we see everyone walking away happily from the situation. As we begin to wind down here, you successfully made it out, make your way back to the boat, where you see Kara still waiting for you as you enter in, successful, knowing the wikis are safe. However, the adventure team potentially not so. As you begin to leave the island, as the lighthouse is now going, you hear a horn blaring. You see a couple of the wikis waving, and they're standing next to this night walker, a huge goat-like humanoid, surrounded in goats, holding a bucket with a shade waving out. And that's where we'll leave tonight's session.
I love bucket shades. They're my favorite.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, thank
Well
you,
done, everyone.
Sandy.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much. That was
Thank you.
amazing, Sandy. Wow. Oh.
So I wanted to make sure that we got in a nice little finale bit before we hit our time limit. So why don't we run down, starting with Shale, Natalie here,
Right.
and tell us where we can find you and what you're up to.
Right. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Natalie. You can find me most places on the internet with Ghost Candle. Probably the best place is Twitter. I do art, talk about tabletop stuff, and I play in games like I do here. You can find me on Tuesday nights at Zealzaddy, where I play Desus, a druid. My bind is blanking at this point. Was that everything?
If not, you can find them all on Twitter as well. So
Yeah, the best place is Twitter. I throw everything on there. It's fine.
TBC.
Hello, my name's Liz. I was obviously delighted to play. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, where I also do art and illustrations, and talk about my games, and there's a tabletop role playing stuff. And you can find me under the username Zombie Octopus. I have been typing in chat in case you just want to link straight through there. On Twitter, it's got a little underscore. But yeah, I love talking about D&D, TTRPGs, and we'll probably do some doodles from this game on stream at some point because this was so much fun. I loved it.
Go with Mogra.
Yes. Hi there, Cher here, aka That Gamer Cher, here on Twitch and on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter also as @GamerShare. I am one of the co-founders over at Ladies of D&D, and certainly there's some exciting things going on over there. If you'd like to check out our Twitch channel, that's Ladies of D&D. Right now, our next and possibly final session of Hell's Bells will be closing out our years-long campaign, which has been such a pleasure to play in as Sombra, your sorceress tiefling. Little bit of warlock in there, why not? And I also have my own variety Twitch channel as well. I play video games. I also I've run a couple of charity streams as well. So looking forward to my upcoming long-term campaign, hopefully starting this fall. So we shall see. There's still a lot of inner workings in the background to still work out. But it would be a pleasure to have you all stop by and check out my channel.
Perfect. And we'll go with Quill.
Yes, thank you. Again, my name is Renee Joy. You can find me as Renee Joy at Renee Joy Writes on Twitter. On Twitch, you'll find me gaming with Cast Gamers, community of applied, spiritual, and therapeutic tabletop gamers, where I host a stream along with my friend Hallie and fellow cast member called Play Your Part, where we talk about how to play your part at the table and in your community and elsewhere in the world. And find me on Twitter, much like anyone else, if you want to connect over over gaming or hanging out on stream playing games, and anything in between.
Perfect. And finally, me, I am Sandy. I've been the Dungeon Master here tonight. First of all, I want to say thank you to the Hoard of Tales for having us and welcome us all into their stream. You can find me at a Belmont Game on Twitter. You can also look at my Ko-fi, which I have at Belmoon Games. And you can have a look at a game that I made called Darkest Days. If you like the style of DMing, a bit more fast and loose combat, darker themes, Dark Souls inspired, definitely check out that game. The Kickstarter went very well. We're still finishing up. However, you can pre-order on BackerKit at Darkest Days, or you can just Google it. And I'll have links on my Twitter, again, at a Belmont Game. But thank you all very much for playing. I hope you enjoyed it very much.
Grand time. Loved it.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely loved it.
Perfect. Thank you again, Hoard of Tales, for having us. It was a delight meeting everyone and playing with y'all. And hopefully until next time.
And thank you to our
Yes.
behind the scenes
Thank
tech who
you.
have been great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.